Hello, 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 and welcome back. I, of course, am your GM, Adam, and we have quite the adventure planned today. It's going to be a fun one. If you weren't here last week, where were you? We missed you. Like we missed Tavish. Because Tavish also wasn't here last week, which was one of the things the party had to adapt to. We had a little 3-man session, everyone run around town, having some fun. Well, I don't know if I would particularly say every character had fun, but we'll jump into that in just a bit, because I want to make sure everyone is having a wonderful day. Glad you're here for this episode, and it's always a pleasure to be doing this. Last session was an interesting one, with the party heading around town to take care of a few things. One of the things that we had some fun with, as far as Sequoia, was interacting with the wives who have lost lives, which now looked like it potentially was going to get a little heated. But it's hard to be angry at a bunch of women who don't have husbands in a renovated orphanage, barely struggling to take care of a bunch of kids, while you're upset with your mentor mommy issues. Where that story's going, we'll find out a little later, but it's what we are working on. Speaking of mentors, Epsilon working on finding a mentor of his own, which is fun. He tried to do some dueling. It did not go very well for Epsilon, not even in the slightest. With the debt that he still has looming over his shoulders, when will he attempt to try to clear his name and clear the slate? Who knows? Or will he just forget about it and then find out what loan sharks in this universe are like? Find out. And then last but not least, we had Orlena venturing over to the Mages Guild to figure out what's going on with Angwin behind the mysterious veil of a sidebar, where the party just has to hope and wonder that Orlena isn't selling all of them out like she's done in the past. No, it's interacting with some of the characters. If you watched it, you had some fun, but I can't let the players know what's going on, because that would be metagaming. But interacted with Angwin, learned some insight, and got some ideas into who Angwin is as a character. But without further ado, let's jump on into getting our players here with us. But before we do that, we are going to mention tabletop audio. Tabletop audio is a great way to help add just that little extra spice sizzle to the environment of your game, whether you're online like us or you're at a table at home with your friends. It is a great way to just bring in that ambience and just add a little something extra to your experience. But to go on an adventuring party, we have to have a party, so let's bring them on in. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
Hello.
What? I know. Welcome back.
Yeah,
Ian.
Tavish. How are you?
Yeah.
So before we get into introductions, I do have a question. Ian, did you get a chance to watch last session at all? Specifically the ending.
I did get a chance to watch last session. I did skip sidebars, so everybody's secret is their own. But I did get to watch all the way to the end.
Okay, so my question is, selfishly, how did I do delivering my one line, and I refuse to do another one for Tavish with that session?
You did pretty well. No worries.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna say this line. I was practicing it like during the break and stuff, and then I was like, and if they ask me a question, I'm just gonna go. He doesn't answer. He walks away.
He doesn't answer you. He walks right upstairs and goes to his room.
I haven't practiced this voice enough. If I continue, he's just going to become a pirate. He's going to be like, "Oh, well, ye scurvy dogs, I'll be in me bedroom."
Turned into Mr. Crab.
Well,
Just
this self, I cannot miss another session, or else I will be replaced by Mr. Krabs.
Exactly. You will be Mr. Krabs, the bardic pirate. That's right. Your whole class changes too.
Oh my god!
But
no.
Only if you promise to sing in a Mr. Krabs voice. That's
oh,
You see, this is where I have. Oh, wait, is that towards me or is that towards Adam? Hold on.
Adam.
both. Either.
Okay.
Who cares? But
Okay, I
for
was about to
those
say,
of
I don't-
you joining us for the first time and you may not be familiar with the party, let's introduce ourselves. First up is Orlina.
Yes.
How we doing?
Still alive. But no, my name is Alicia. I am playing the character Orlina. She, is a quirky elf from the elven land of Orbathius. I feel like every time I explain her, I always leave something out, so I'll try my best. She's about 5'10" tall. She has long, dark, shiny hair and bright purple eyes she can use to see in the dark. She, at a young age, lost her parents, was orphaned, and discovered that she had an affinity for baking. Magical baking. She can imbue magical properties on all of her baked goods, and she uses them to mostly help everyone, mostly healing. She's working on trying to come up with other applications because sometimes she needs to help more than she does, because in the way of battle she's more, what's the word, support. She from afar with the bow, she has a dagger if things get up close and personal, which she doesn't like to do, but she will if she has to. And she has been on a quest this entire time, traveling with many different people to find an herb that she needs to create a baked good that will make her strong enough to avenge her parents. And I hope she's getting closer. It feels like it. I hope she makes it.
Just like ingredients in the muffins, party members are just nothing but things you add in for a little flavor. And then they're consumed and tossed aside. Ah, the way of Orlina. Anyway, let's introduce the rest of the party. Hello. How are we doing, Sequoia?
She's here. She's doing a little bit more soul searching right now after her time revisiting or visiting the orphanage and kind of reliving through her own time in an orphanage as a child. So my name is Jasmine, everyone. I am playing Sequoia. She is a half pixie, 4'11". She was an orphan who was raised. She ended up running away into the Forbidden Forest after leaving the orphanage that she was mistreated from, and was raised by Hedera, the queen of the forest. She was named by Hedera because though she is small, she is very mighty. She has some earth magic that she has learned from Hedera, but she does have other aspects of magic that she hasn't quite tapped into that are kind of triggered to her emotions that she just hasn't really learned to control yet, but she's going to start figuring those out on the way. She is also kind of looking to avenge her mother figure, though she doesn't quite know yet what it is that happened. She was there when the heart of the forest was destroyed, meaning her mother was also destroyed. So she's just kind of on this quest to find out what happened and who might know what happened. Oh no, you would know if it was destroyed. From Sequoia's point of view, it was destroyed. But
did she actually see it? Never mind. Sorry.
Yes,
Continue.
as she was being ejected from the
Sorry,
forest,
I'm
she
sorry,
did see the
sorry,
explosion
continue.
on the tree.
I'm sorry.
This is one of the fun challenges that the players have to juggle, is the aspect of what their character knows versus what the player knows. Now, obviously, the players know a whole bunch of things, but they have to make sure that they're always playing to what their character knows and what their character understands about the world. So it's an interesting one to juggle.
Sequoia
So I
feels like so Sequoia saw the explosion in the heart of the forest, and so in her mind it was destroyed. So
she didn't see anything. That's
Yeah.
all
she's
I'm saying.
So
it was destroyed according to her, from her vision, from her vantage point. That's what she saw.
Exactly.
So that's what she believes.
Okay.
So she's kind of out
And-
for vengeance as well, and that's where she's at.
That's what's important. What is our character doing? And out for vengeance. I like it. So we do have a couple more people to introduce. So let's bring them on in. We've got the one, the only, the here for 2 out of 3 sessions, Tavish.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian. I will be playing Tavish this evening. Tavish he's a taller man, and he's got his secrets. He likes to keep things close to his chest, and there are many things that will be revealed with time, and maybe even sooner rather than later. But Tavish is known to, as you can see from his picture, he's a well-armored knight, and he likes to stride into battle with a little bit of confidence and swagger. Happy to use his words as well as a blade. And that's Tavish.
Yeah, he is not a man of many words, and what he was up to in that last session is something that we will be unveiling, over the course of time. But I will let everyone know, and you can work with this. Well, not the party; they'll have to pretend not to hear this. But the viewers at home, I will let them know it wasn't a fun experience.
Oh dang! Should have gone looking for him.
We've got one more player to introduce. That is the one and only Epsilon.
I saw that. I see you.
He struggled there a bit.
I keep wanting to call you. I keep wanting to say Jin. It's just I want the meat pockets. Where are the meat pockets?
It's so easy, so delicious. The meat pockets.
But we have Epsilon.
My name is James, and I'm going to be playing Epsilon this evening. Epsilon's a half-dragon human, and he's 6 feet tall, and he has fangs, claws, a tail, and horns that crown his head. He's from a community called Green Grove Watch, which is pretty much a retirement community for the most legendary of heroes. And he's on a quest to go, and he wants to prove himself as a hero. So he's left the nest and as a naive young man, and is just let loose on the world to just get into crippling debt. And now he's got to figure out how to do this quest.
Oh my god!
The world was let loose on him. That's what actually happened.
Oh, he was trained for one thing, and he was not properly prepared for what it's like to be out there.
For life.
I hope that his new mentor will help guide this man along the way, because he needs some help. He needs help.
Oh, could you imagine if your mentor is also a gambling addict?
Oh
You know
my
what, though?
god!
It sounds like an Adam. It sounds like an Adam move. I ain't getting no help from this man. It's gonna have to be one of y'all. I need y'all to save me.
I'm
If
glad
you're
he didn't
an
hear our
accomplished,
discussion.
if you're an accomplished hero and you can get things done, why not just get things done and get things for free? It's easy.
That sounds so reasonable to Epsilon. If you got the money, then
Oh goodness.
what's the problem?
You trade services
You don't
for
have
goods,
the money.
and
Oh,
then
God.
you get the goods.
What kind of
He doesn't
services are you
understand
trading
money
down
yet.
there, Tavish?
But
Tavish.
I was not.
We,
disjointed.
before we hop into the session, a little pre-session preamble. So we will be taking a little bit of gold from everyone, with the exception of Tavish. This is just for food, drinks, stay, all of that kind of stuff, just kind of keeping up. So I'm just gonna note that down real quick. You are all just -1 gold, and We did talk about milestones at the end of the last session. Unfortunately, we were not able to get that all done. It is a new system, so there are little hiccups here and there. So there are certain aspects of the characters I will be keeping in mind, operating under milestone 2. But for the most part, we'll play on as if we are milestone 1 for the session. If you are Tavish and you were able to actually do everything because you were more adjacent to me, you can go ahead and use your milestone 2, so you get a slight advantage, and you can just rub it in everyone's face. Other than that, we are all set and ready to go. And so without further ado, let's jump on in to our session today. Episode 3.
Right? The silence. So like.
At the end of the last session, Tavish had returned home and was short with his words and had went to his room. Shortly after, each of the members find their way to their own rooms and take the rest that they would need for the coming day, knowing that you would have to be traveling to the Mudfort, which is going to be basically an all-day affair, and you need to be ready for what is your first hero mission or quest for Ambervale. You had chose your squire, and so we'll say at about 7 in the morning is when everyone starts kind of whether they're waking up or making themselves available. That is where we will start, as you all are entering into your common area kitchen-ish place.
Can I ask
Orlina,
one question first?
of course.
Ian, how'd you feel about Tim?
Oh yeah.
The squire. You weren't here.
What would Tavish have chosen?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's important to know.
Just curious.
let's not worry about that at the moment, and let's move on from that, because Tavish isn't going to get a choice in who the squire is, because you guys already chose the squire.
So there we go. So we've got an outro question for Ian. We'll let him stew on that. But for now,
okay.
we'll open things up with Orlina in the kitchen, presumably making some muffins, and the party arriving. You'll have we'll say about an hour before the squire is supposed to arrive, and you make preparations to leave.
Yeah, I definitely have to make some muffins because we're going on a trip. You never know what we're gonna need. Do I have the time to also make, like, my first thought is something like the glaze for the muffins. Do I have time?
Well, in Cinematic Epic, you're always welcome to try.
I would like to try.
Let's get ourselves a roll here. A D20.
Okay, maybe.
So, with everything going on for Orlina, you haven't had as much time to work on this part. So, you have enough to coat a singular, non-plural muffin. So you can have one of your
How many muffins do I have?
crazy. That you can have. I mean, so if do you mean like regular muffins or like healing muffins? Like,
I would feel like if we're going, I would be wanting to make some healing muffins.
healing muffins. We'll say, let's say 6. You have 6 muffins that are healing, and then you can have 6 that were just, kind of more general consumption, and then your baker's dozen rounded out with the 13th muffin having the special concoction.
Cool. All right. I like it.
If possible, before we went to sleep last night, Epsilon would have just put whatever excess magic he had from the day just like into the crystal on his sword before he went to sleep.
Let's get a miscellaneous roll.
Just blow himself up, trying to go to before he goes to sleep.
One thing I am going to add to that is your use magic item, because that makes sense. So you are trained one. So you're able to not interact negatively with anything, but it's, I mean, you put the magic in, it's nothing crazy.
Yeah, it just wasn't as good as it could have been. Yeah, I got you.
Mm-hmm. And Orlina, we are also going to retroactively add in your use magic item on your baking. So we're just going to change that 6 to an 8. Otherwise, everything's staying the same. So it's still 1 of the laughing muffins, but 8 healing instead of 6.
Laughing muffin. Okay. Laughing muffin. I like it.
Oh, just you wait. I'm gonna upgrade the whole kitchen.
Oh my
Triple ain't got nothing on me.
No.
We gonna be out here looking good. Right until they repossess everything.
Oh my God. Just repossess the house. They're just like, no, guys.
Nobody can cook.
Right. All right. Sequoia comes down into the kitchen. It's kind of wanders in.
You know, I'm about to make a spread.
Right.
But let's try it out.
We got any more of that fruit from yesterday? That's not the right accent. I don't know what that was.
You got it.
You'll get there.
Is any more fruit left?
I assume I'm still baking.
Yes,
Definitely.
there would still be fruit left. Yes.
All right, so she's gonna take that and like pack it, and like the apples and whatnot. Be
Pack it
easier to
fruit.
carry. Yes.
Eat the leftovers from yesterday's breakfast, because you know we didn't eat all that food.
I'm over here like, I ate them.
This
still got more
food
bread.
commercial, this breakfast commercial, last breakfast. Yeah, we know we still got some of that left.
I'll take that English muffin I know is there.
The
There's
continental.
3 more of them next to it.
Okay, but I'm baking.
Yeah.
So.
So
Don't
you
mind
know,
me.
if you put the laughing concoction on an English muffin, it becomes dry humor.
Dang, that was good.
Oh my god.
Is there anything with the hour before the Squire rise? Is there anything that anyone would look to take care of or want to take care of?
Tavish would just make certain that he takes a whetstone across his sword to kind of, keep it sharp, keep an edge on it. He would just kind of come downstairs quietly and just kind of sit in the common room couch and just sharpen a sword. Get ready for the day.
Perfect.
What do I carry all my muffins in? Is it just a...
You were inspired by the meat pockets, so you got muffin pockets.
Got pockets of holding, but just for muffins.
Do you see them? Like I got big thighs like Squidward after eating all the Krabby Patties, or like are they hidden?
No, they would be put in your they fit in your bag. You have a way to like wrap them and keep them.
Okay. Seeing as I guess in my mind, I want to make sure I have everything else that I need,
Mhm.
or in the way of like arrows and things of that nature.
Okay, in my mind, you got them Jones wrapped up like Lembas, and just wrapped up in a big ass leaf, just in your bag.
Lembas spread.
Like lamba spread? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh
except
my
except
God.
it tastes better.
Yeah, it is.
It's not dry.
He
So,
just doesn't feel man.
so-
last call for anything before our Squire arrives.
I'm just eating my lavish breakfast.
Perfect.
I'm gonna be like picking off the fruit that he's got left over. Just be like, you gonna eat that? I'm gonna pack it.
Sorry, I know I'm over here like don't forget anything. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I have everything, but I feel like everything that I've attained so far, I have all the boats and all that junk. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Tavish
Gear check.
would grab like a few things off the table and just kind of put it into his belt pouch, and then just kind of looking like, all right, are we ready to go now? We've got a long walk and day ahead of us.
What's the weather like where we're going? Sorry.
gross is the answer. It's the Mudfort. The Mudfort is known for being very humid a lot of the time. It has a very swampy kind of like feel to it. Despite the fact that it can get to like intense heats, the land never dries, and it always stays this sloshy, swampish, muddy, just miles and miles of anywhere between ankle and thigh deep mud.
Well, I'm ready to
Do
go.
I have the right shoes for this?
Need some galoshes.
There are no right shoes for this.
Can I walk on top of
unfortunate
the mud like Legolas? In the snow?
Lightfoot.
That's what I was just thinking for Sequoia. I was like, can Sequoia just kind of like earth magic her way like, from not sinking into it?
Can you
Yeah,
earth
hey,
magic
look,
all of
you're
us? from not
always
sinking?
welcome to try.
Hey, just make it solid for us.
Okay.
So, as the party finishes... Sorry, go ahead.
I doubt that the magic of the land is going to give way for those who don't live of the land. The mud is part of how the orcs defeated heavy cavalry for the longest time, when they were under the oppression of the Keep Kolak.
But is it magic or is it just the weather?
No, this is not. It's magic.
How
I
you
know a
old
lot about
shamans
this
had
place.
their way.
Yeah, you haven't been there. How you know?
I
Take a
read.
history class on it.
It
Who
was
wrote-
important
Can the
to
orcs
make
write?
certain you understood.
Do they read?
I didn't think they
I
did.
do.
I don't know.
No, the orcs do they write and read? Do they know how to do that? Didn't know they've written down their own history. Or is that from? I don't know.
I remember reading reports a long time ago. But
Reports
that's
from
not
who,
ma-
though?
Does it matter at the moment, or should we just take to the road?
I'm just curious because now I'm kind of wondering how you know so much about this place you've never
Listen,
been to.
we can
I
we can
feel
talk
like it
about this on the way.
I feel like it definitely matters.
we
Well,
don't have
Tim's
to do
not
this
even here
right
yet.
here.
How are we
Let's-
supposed to go anywhere? We
We're
gotta
not
wait
going
for
anywhere.
Tim.
No, Tim.
Who in the name is Tim?
If you were
He's-
here, you would know.
Our squire.
Yeah, he's gonna show us out how to get to the Mudfort.
You just
On
disappeared.
that, there is a knock on the door.
That must be Tim.
Yes.
She goes to open it.
And it is, in fact, Squire Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Baby face Tim.
I don't know.
Oh, hey guys. Are
Where
we
did Tavish
ready to
go?
go?
I don't know.
I guess so.
Ready? Ready? Ready to start?
Oh. Yeah.
Where's
I'm
Tavish?
ready.
I don't know. Is he
I
not
don't-
coming?
What?
She said, "Where's Tavish?"
I'm here. Let's get moving. And I don't wait for him, and I just start walking in the way that I know. The general area where I know the Mudfort to be.
You gotta wait for
we
Tim.
have a
Tavish.
cart.
Cart?
Yeah.
We got
Tim,
a
go
cart?
ahead.
We have a cart.
Tim, go ahead and grab these bags and put them in the cart.
Oh, yeah, no problem, Epsilon. And he hustles over and starts just grabbing all your bags and just starts grabbing anyone's bags who are around Epsilon's bags and just like grocery store carries like all of these like items like camping gear, food, rations, all of this, and just starts loading it up on this little like cart, small caravan that you all will be traveling in. It's just two different like little carriage system pulled by 2 horses each. One that you all will ride in, and then one for all your stuff.
I nod my head.
Question.
Like,
I
yes.
have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do I still have my matches? Or
Yes.
is that just like... Okay, I
No,
wasn't sure.
that would be something. For new time listeners, the matches are an item that Orlina got in the first campaign. They are magic matches that are from a willing wood, so it is a tree that can only be, like, its material can only be used when the tree decides to give out its bark, its leaves, etc. So that is a magic item that she has retained from the previous campaign. But yes.
I was just making sure I didn't know.
I like
We're not going to be anywhere. In my mind, I'm thinking we're not going to be anywhere where there might be, something that, So I'm just checking to see if I have things that I can use to make things. Okay.
I like to tip this man 4 gold for his great work.
He's coming with us.
And look at what he just did. Have you seen anyone do
his
that
job.
before?
But
Yeah,
okay.
but you tip people who do good work.
Oh, so you know to do that, but you don't know to like sell your soul for your bedroom.
But look. He's a part of the team.
While they say, I still go to give him the gold while they're saying
You're
this.
gonna tip us too. I mean, we're part of the group. We're part of the group as well.
Oh, thanks, Epsilon. I appreciate it. And he goes over and he opens the door to the carriage for you.
I chose right. Just gonna get in the carriage. Oh, yeah.
He's gonna do that anyway.
All right.
So the back carriage is loaded up. Like I said, your little convoy will consist of these 2 carriages, 2 horseback riders from Ambervale from their army, and then unofficially they are not part of your group. Anyone traveling in that same direction usually travels alongside of these types of caravans, just because they're a little safer, and there's better company. So there's a group of like 20 or so travelers. Kind of moseying along with you, though again they are not officially a part of your caravan. Is there anyone not riding in the coach?
I'm up in there.
Of course you are.
It's so much more comfortable than riding a horse.
Oh.
I would try to find, is there enough space and seating next to the driver so that way Tavish can sit outside the carriage next to the driver?
No, because that is where the driver is going to sit next to Tim, and Tim's on the front. Or so I guess you could sit on the back of the one that just has all the items on it.
I think Tavish would do that for now.
Perfect.
Just looking back at him like...
I thought about that.
The rest of the party?
Answer the question like Tim's up there with that, because I was thinking the same thing. But you said Tim's sitting up there.
So Orlina, Sequoia?
Oh no. Yeah, I'm inside.
Orlina.
I'm like, dang. Is there any space outside? Because my first thought was outside, but because I'm thinking I don't know how big this is, and she's kind of tall. And it almost
Do you own a horse?
No, I mean you would fit comfortably inside. Like the coach for the party is meant that all of you could sit comfortably inside.
Okay. Oh, well, by the window.
Perfect.
You're gonna call a window
Vigilance.
seat for the carriage.
No one else did, so.
I want the other
And,
window.
Well, I gotta put the little one in the middle.
It's safer for you there. There's no seatbelts.
I am 26 years old.
Safer for you there. There's no seatbelts.
There's always
Your pocket
And,
sized.
the convoy gets on its way. Tim opens up the little divider and goes, so we should be at the crossroads in about 3 hours. I put drinks and snacks on underneath the seats. And yeah, I'm gonna reread through the brief, and then we can talk about the Mudfort here in just a bit. And yeah, just let me know if you need anything. And he shuts the divider.
Thanks, Tim.
3 hours. 3 hours. I didn't know it was 3 hours away.
Yeah, we're a bit of ways away from the crossroads.
Isn't that
We're
where you
not
said you
stopping
were
in
from?
there, are we?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
isn't that where you said you were from?
Yeah, that's where I spent a little bit of my time when I was a little kid. Wasn't really the best, you know. I was in the orphanage there, and they weren't very nice to people like me. You know, they didn't like the halflings.
So then I have to ask, how tall were you then?
That seems kind of rude.
We kind of come out just kind of one size, so this is kind of where I kind of just stayed. Didn't really get to have my little growth spurt. Just stayed where I was.
So you've been this size the whole... That's a big baby.
Wow.
I mean, I guess I was smaller as a baby. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember when I was a baby. Just kind of, you know, didn't really have the knowledge of myself when I was a baby. I guess. Do you remember what you were like as a baby?
Well, I can't remember that far back, but I definitely grew since then.
Tavish, do you remember being a baby?
Well, ain't you special?
Tavish is not in the card to ask.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
Dang.
am.
Is there a way to talk
Turn
to him?
around and yell at him.
Is there like a window there like there is in the front? I was gonna ask that.
There is not one on the back of the coach.
Okay.
You could roll pull the half window down of the cart and then look out and
the
then just kind of
side?
yell backwards.
Okay.
Tavish. Oh, he's not that curious. Oh, well, I'll ask him later.
I mean, I
Like,
guess I was a little bit smaller, but I mean, not. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know.
So have you
Really?
been back to the crossroads at all?
Nah, I never went back. It wasn't really
So-
anything there for me.
So you don't know if it's the same or if anyone is still. What if you get there and we stop and somebody recognizes you?
That probably won't be very good. No one really recognized me in a positive way when I was there. So I hope they don't. I don't really have any fond memories of anybody else there. So I really don't want anyone to talk to me or even.
Well,
So,
maybe if we stop, you should stay inside.
either that or maybe you should wear a disguise.
Oh,
How many other
Keep
little
your cloak
people like
on.
me do you see? I don't really think that
well,
can't really
no,
blend in too
no.
much.
If you were disguised, maybe they would think you're a little kid or something. I don't mean that to be mean. I'm just saying, seriously, if you put something on and you hid your face, they might think you're a kid.
So then what? We just go get a big lollipop and call it a day?
Are lollipops
And
only
then
for
what?
children?
You try to leave me again? Try to leave me back at the orphanage? So then they'll be like, "Oh, hey,
When was the last
got
time you seen
another
a
one.
grown adult with a lollipop that was large like that?
They're delicious.
That tracks. I walked into that one.
Well, so wait, what happened? You said that not very good memories. What happened?
So they didn't really like me too much there at the orphanage. They didn't like the non-humans so much. I mean, they was kind of okay with the elves, but like I was kind of, just an oddball, I guess. Most of the orphan kids in there were human, and then there was me, and I'm half human, and then half some kind of magic folk, I guess, that don't really know my parents. So they said I was a pixie because I'm so small. I guess that's what they were saying, because I'm tiny. But they'd hit me a lot. They didn't really. They weren't very nice. Let's just say I got into some fights a few times from some kids tried bullying me. Then I hit them back, and then the adults hit me for hitting back, and then I set the building on fire on accident, and then I left. I just kind of I ran into the forest, and then I've had enough of all the abuse in the orphanage, so I went to the forest and figured, I'd take my chances there, and Hedera found me and took me in, and she raised me.
Well, hopefully they didn't rebuild.
That would actually be kind of nice. I mean, it would suck for the kids that were in there, but I mean, they weren't very nice anyway, so.
Did the kids make it out? Nobody.
Yeah, they were fine. They were fine. Most of them. I saw a few of them outside. I didn't stick around to see if everybody made it out. So
I will say, if it makes you feel any better, I grew up in an orphanage too. They weren't necessarily very mean, but it was. I don't know why they had the orphanage. I think it was just to keep the children that were found. I don't know, because nobody there was gonna ever adopt anybody because no one wanted anyone that came from outside the city. So
were all the kids the same though? Were they all elves that they had?
they were all elves, but it didn't matter. There is, I guess, different classes of elves, and because I wasn't from the city, I was from one of the towns. They didn't like us very much, even though we kind of made everything that they needed for the city. I don't know. They didn't like us very much. So I was never gonna get adopted. I was gonna be there until I was too old to be there, and I was. So.
Yeah.
It's
terrible how. It's terrible how people let small differences get in the way of treating people right.
They call them small.
That's not what I was saying. Oh.
So what about you? What's your story?
I mean, before I lived at Green Grove Watch, I had a similar story. Not in terms of being an orphan. I don't know what that's like, but before I was like 5 or 6, I just looked like a regular human kid. So we lived in a normal village in the mountains, and but once my horns and claws started coming in, everyone started to treat me differently, and so that's when we moved, and my dad brought us over to Green Grove Watch.
Who is the dragon? In your pet? Which one's the dragon?
My mom.
No kidding. That's ambitious of your dad.
Where's this?
You know what? I'm not gonna ask. I'm just gonna let it go.
So
you may have heard of my father, actually. His name they called him Typhon the Inexorable. That's one of the things they used to call him when he was a hero.
That is a mouthful.
You know,
I didn't really pay attention to the things outside the forest, so I didn't really know anybody's. I never really
But
left
that's
the
okay.
forest.
Let's
What?
do a roll history to see if we've heard of this character. So for Alina and Sequoia, we'll do a history roll,
Okay.
which
I got no
is not
extras here.
studied either.
Well, that's
Oh,
a star. Is a star good or bad?
I guess I know.
I, I guess you know it. You know him personally.
Orlina
You met him.
absolutely knows him.
You were best
First-hand
friends.
experience.
That's my cousin.
That's my cousin right there.
No, the big thing you remember is at first it like doesn't click. You're like, yeah, I mean, look, I'm not gonna just happen to know your dad, man. And as he says the title, you're like, wait a minute, that does sound familiar. And then you do remember that like this like childhood memory comes to you of hearing a story of how one person can make a difference. And it was this like little tale told amongst like your village about how this one man made a difference by taking a stand against what others would say was, you know, an unsurmountable odd. And so you heard the story of the inexorable.
So it's like a fable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's just said, my dad's Bigfoot, don't you know?
That explains
That's
the
boy
dragon.
Tommy.
Though. He was with a dragon. He had to be sizable. You know,
That's what you want to call it.
actually, I may have heard of your dad. What did he do?
Well, he was a hero before I was born.
That's descriptive.
But what did
I
he
mean,
do?
he helped people. I don't know what else. What do you want me to say?
You don't even know your dad's legacy? Like, you know his name, but you don't know, like, what he's good for?
How he got that
know?
name? How did he get that?
Well, the story of how he got that name is that there was a village once, right, that was under attack by an undead horde, and my father stayed outside the village and protected it all through the night until his party could come back and help him.
By himself?
All by himself?
By himself.
He protected against the whole horde?
Wow.
If it was just, if it had just been, you know, there was defenses and things that helped. So it's not just like he was just running around of the whole thing, you know, but he planted himself at the only, he planted himself in the only place where they could come to reach the town. And he spent the night defending it.
Oh.
And he lived to tell the tale afterwards.
But, so, are you anything like your dad?
I mean, he looks kind of like he's in himself when you say that. He's like, well, I have to be. I try, but
You have to
That's-
be. What do you mean by that? You don't have to be anything other than you.
I mean, I don't know. He just looks sad. Like, I feel like,
It's okay.
oh,
It's okay.
it's,
You don't have to be your dad. You can be you. I mean, we got something going on here. We'll be, you can make a name for yourself on this expedition here. You know, you could be Epsilon, the I mean, we'll find out. We'll see what you're good for, right? I mean,
well,
money
that's the
management
thing.
is definitely not it, but we'll see what you're good for. We gotcha.
The people will give me my name. It's fine. That's how it always works.
We're part of the people, but okay.
Okay, are we not people? Like, do we not
I
count?
mean, we
as
are,
people?
but
So
I feel like it's
we'll get you a good nickname.
The Tim like stands up over the cart and yells back, Tavish, we're gonna be talking about the well, what we're doing here soon. If you wanna hop up with the others.
All right, lad. Tavish hops off the back cart, runs up to the cart as it's moving, opens the door, and gets in.
I want to watch this happen. I want to look out the window and watch this.
Sorry.
Just,
All you hear is clang, 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 clang. It's like,
Jeez. Tavish, what you
like, wow, he can move.
oh,
A little warning next time? Jeez.
And here Hey, there's always a warning. I yelled it loud enough for you to hear, didn't I? Now, what news do we have about our little soiree to the Mudfort? What?
Tim opens the little bit. Yeah, how familiar are any of you with the Mudfort?
Nothing.
I've
Decent
read
amounts,
about it a
but
little bit, but
Apparently he knows the whole history, so.
yeah.
not the whole history. The history of the Mudfort is... I could use a little brushing up. My major point of knowledge is knowing that the mud around the area is magical, and we're not really going to get through all that easily. And I know that in the Mudfort, he who has strength has power. And that's about as useful as one can consciously and concisely say.
I don't think
That's
he's
all,
talking
like-
about the mud. I think he's talking about among the orcs, like strength.
Yeah, I
Hey.
guess that makes sense. I mean,
Not the mud,
How can
not the
mud be,
mud.
how can
Oh.
mud be strong?
And you guys are familiar with like orc culture, yeah?
No.
vaguely.
Not. Yeah.
Okay. So an important fact is there are like two groups. Well, there's one group. So orc is a way of life. So there are people there who won't be like orcs, but they'll be orcs.
So like big O orcs versus little O orcs.
Well, like I could be an orc. Like, and he's like
Are you
flipping.
trying to make
the-
a
the-
distinction between, like, one can follow the manner in which an orc lives, and then there's those who are born orc?
As he's flipping, he's like, yeah. So you have, for lack of a better term, like genetic orcs, and then you have those that subscribe to the philosophy of their culture. But
Cultural
they
orcs.
don't see the a major distinction between it. So if you're an orc, you're an orc.
So don't tell
Okay.
people that they're not orcs. Got it.
Yeah, you definitely could offend someone by calling them like human. So,
So how are we
watch
supposed
out.
to know who's like an orc and who's not? Who's like a not orc?
I would say your safe bet is if they're living in the Mudfort, they're probably an orc, because it's not great. Here, we can take a look at the map real quick. And
It's not
got
great.
a map.
It's not great. Okay.
So
Okay.
It's why we
the
brought
first
him.
place, the first place we're gonna run into, and he's like pointing at this map,
Literally.
is the first wall. So the first wall is just a massive amount of hills, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but they're all constantly in a sliding mud. How the mud keeps sliding down from the top is, well, I guess magic. But so it is what they call the first wall because it's what broke the Ambervalian cavalry.
Oh.
And like I said, it is a lot. It's a lot of hills to the point where we're not going to bring the carts past like into the first wall.
Okay.
Then we'll get into the mud flats, and that's where we're gonna primarily be operating today. The mud flats are literally just, miles upon miles upon miles of basically just flat rolling plains, if rolling plains were just covered in mud and like small pools of muddy water. But even the muddy water in like near the Mudfort is really just mud. It's just liquidy. It's more soft, I guess.
Oh,
Okay.
That sounds fantastic.
that does not sound very appealing, but okay.
And you have to be careful around their lakes, because since it is just like mud still. I mean, some of them can be. I've heard stories that some of them can be hundreds of feet deep, that you just sink into mud, and it's basically impossible to swim in because it's just so thick and. Well, yeah. So don't fall in those.
How can we tell the difference if everything's just mud?
There's a reason why you can assume everyone who's living here is an orc.
They know the way.
No, I meant because it's terrible.
Oh, okay.
Well,
They
I thought
also
you
know
said
the way,
that
though.
the lakes actually look like muddy water, so just don't step in anything that looks like a puddle?
So the problem is, unless they are disturbed in some way, because everything's so flat in the mud flats, visually, it's really hard to tell what's really soft mud versus just normal mud.
Okay.
So it has to be disturbed in order to... So can we just, like, poke it with a stick?
Yeah, everyone definitely... I brought walking sticks for everyone, because making sure you test how deep the mud is in front of you is really important. You don't want to fall even into just, like, a mud pit, because even if it's only 15 feet of mud, you know, if you sink to the bottom of that, like Tavish in his armor, I mean, getting you out's going to be really difficult.
Tavish is going in waist deep at least. Like,
Okay.
15 feet.
All right.
Right.
So, but you said that you know how to get past the first wall.
Well, yeah, we're just going to have to climb it. But yeah, we'll climb a few of it.
What?
What does that mean?
Well, so, because the last wall is just rolling hills. I mean, realistically, we're going to have to climb like 4 or 5 hills to get through the first wall.
And that kept out
Okay.
the Ambervale? Just some hills?
Well, I mean,
think
it's...
you're
out there,
underestimating.
cavalry. Cavalry
Yeah.
couldn't
I mean,
march through
okay, I guess
those.
that's fair. I mean, yeah, horses can't really get through.
Before there were the
Um,
mud flats and the mud hills, it was just flat land here of a desert.
So where'd the hills come from?
Where'd the
They
mud
just
come
stack
from?
they just stack a
My
bunch of mud up and make a hill?
Do they have
Is that-
eyes?
The orcs had shamans who did it, and it was a way for them to defend themselves against Ambervale and keep Kolak as well.
Looks like it worked.
Too well.
Yeah. What he's saying is kind of all I have in the briefing notes. The Ambervale side of the history of it is a bit muddy at best.
That's a good one, Tim.
And
Oh,
I roll a
you're funny.
history check to see if I remember any more details of the history of like the
I was
conflict.
like, does Ian have points in history?
Let's see it.
He just got
Yes.
that brain on
I
him.
have
Right?
He got that brain on him. That's what it is.
Right?
Got that 19 on him.
So
Okay.
you have 2 points of history, and with the 17. So what are you looking to know or remember?
trying to remember who started the fighting in between Ambervale and the orcs, and how well did the orcs
Who finished it?
essentially end.
I lost you there for a second. Could you repeat the end part of that question?
Yep. How well did the orcs defend themselves against Ambervale? how much of a victory was it for the orcs when the Ambervale cavalry couldn't get in?
Sure. What you recall is, and again, there are a few different sides of the story, so it's hard to know 100% what is factual, but the idea of what you know is that the after the orcs left Keep Kolok and started their kind of skirmish campaign through the southern mountains, that was their primary home for a while. Eventually, they started losing more and more ground as Ambervale and Keep Kolok kind of both pushed into their territory. The entire strategy from the two was to get the orcs out into the open fields, because that is where they would be a little more vulnerable, especially to the Ambervale heavy cavalry, which they were famous for. The orcs, once they were pushed into the flats of the plains, were just getting absolutely just decimated by the two forces, not being able to push into the mountains versus Keep Kolok and their allies, and Ambervale's heavy cavalry being too much of a match for them in the open plains. This turned the orcs to have to make some desperate ploys, and there's a whole bunch of rumors on how and what happened, whether it was a deal with the dragon, a deal with devils. Was it some sort of other dark arcane magic? Was it one of the crazier star gods? There's tons of rumors and theories on how, what, why the orcs did what they did. But one day, the rolling plains of the southern continent under Ambervale became just this storm of water and rain, and a place called the Mudfalls just basically poured out mud infinitely. These hills erected from the ground. They created this barrier around the area. So the how it all happened is shrouded in mystery, but the what and why of it all was pretty much there. The forces of Ambervale that were inside the first wall were basically cut off and slaughtered as they're inside the rolling plains, now covered in mud. Their horses were basically just a hindrance. They took up supplies, they were slow, they were cumbersome, and orcs just began to create a brutal brawl, which was not something the Ambervale army was ready for.
I have a question. Approximately how long ago was this? Is this within a generation this kind of battle happened?
So it is something that can be measured in a few stages, but so Tavish would know this, and I'm trying to think what. So the version of history that you would know from Green Grove's watch would be that there was a period of time before the war against darkness, or what would become the fall of darkness, where this conflict started before that, though it was a much smaller scale in comparison to the height of violence that happened during the War of Darkness. And that would be your rough understanding of it.
I was wondering, if I'd ever heard of anyone that the orcs would have considered a heroes of that battle, or those battles, basically.
Okay.
Would I have any knowledge of these kind of people?
Let's get a roll for that. Get ourselves another knowledge history roll.
Alright.
I ain't got no knowledge, so I need a good roll.
Hey!
We in there. That's that raw roll.
You're not 100% sure. And it was something you're not 100% sure on the exact details of it, and it's one of those things that so there were some heroes that would talk about how he was a hero. There was others that were no, you don't get to do the things he did and still be called a hero. Was he important for their people? Sure, but hero? I think not. And that was blanking on the name. 1 second. I had it written down.
It's
sorry,
okay. There's so many names. It's okay.
I'm trying to do. I prepped names.
I jumped him with the question before he was ready. Give me the name.
There's so there's so many names. Okay.
Right.
The name of the hero, the name of the orc hero, was Ruxgar Kaelgor.
Okay.
All right.
He sounds
I know I
strong.
spelled that wrong. I know I spelled it wrong, but it's fine. I can read it. All right.
Ruxar.
And Ruxgar.
Ruxgar. Okay.
God.
Ruxgar Kaelgor.
All right.
That is a
They
name.
probably
I
they don't
really
have tail there.
kind of the story of how the orcs were attempting to leave Keep Kolak at the time, and that Keep Kolak and Ambervale were going after the orcs by pushing them back out of the southern portions of the mountains and putting them into the field. And that's how, by some unknown measure of magic, whether it's nobody's certain of who created it, but it was created at the orcs' behest, and thus allowed them to win at their time a sense of freedom.
Sounds like justice, if you ask me.
That's the funny thing with justice. It bears many names to many different groups. Some call it justice, others call it vengeance, some call it unprovoked.
So, what did the cavalry, Ambervale's cavalry, were they all humans? Do we know?
Oh, Ambervale has been one of the most mixed armies, at least in this area of the world. They've often employed a heavy mixture of human, elf, and dwarf primarily, though serpent folk, lizard folk are both very common to see, as well as a whole myriad of gnome, halfling, and things of the sort. Ambervale doesn't have any sort of like species restrictions for its military.
Well, I guess that's nice, but I guess I was trying to figure out if they were primarily humans before. I don't know. I was just wondering if the orcs, did they particularly not like anybody, or they just, I don't know.
Well, for the orcs, and he's flipping through the pages again. It doesn't really have likes or dislikes.
Wait. We are. Is it known that we're coming from Ambervale?
Yes. Yes, we are going as hero aid from Ambervale.
Well,
Not diplomat.
I mean, it just seems to me like we're probably still gonna find a not so welcome probably. given
Well,
the
so
history.
the nice part about going as hero aid is while like we can be based out of Ambervale, it doesn't mean we directly represent Ambervale as like a location or a place, as we could easily be hero aid from the Golden City, or from any city across the world. So it gives us a little bit of a not
Plausible
flying
deniability.
the banner of Amber. Exactly. And with the wild magics of that bardic dragon, I've heard the lands of the Mudfort have gotten a little more hostile.
Does anyone remember what we're supposed to be finding out?
It should be in the
We're
brief.
here. We're
Yes.
here to
So,
try and set up.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Stavish.
I believe we're here to set up some sort of rapport, so that way different members of different countries can reach the Mudfort and actually have some sort of opening of dialogue between the Mudfort and the rest of the continent. If we don't help them, if we don't help Ambervale to get its eyes inside the city, everybody will wonder if something else might be lingering around here.
So we're supposed to be doing that without acting like we're doing that.
Yeah,
We're
so
doing it in a different manner.
sorry.
They
I mean,
sent
honestly,
diplomats
yeah.
before, and those diplomats didn't come back. Orcs respect strength. A diplomat's strength is in their words, not exactly their axes.
Epsilon, like, strokes his scabbard when he says that.
Tim does change the subject a little bit and goes, so we're at the crossroads. We're making good time. We can stop here if you all want, but we also could just head on through and get to the Mudfort a little ahead of schedule. Well, the first wall, that is.
I'm okay with just going. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if we don't need to stop, we don't need to stop, right?
I'd like to do a perception to look at the caravan that's following us, because most of those people are on foot, correct?
Mhm.
How fatigued are they? Can I use my perception to see how fatigued they are?
Roll
Listen
perception.
to me. This is why he did this, right? But I knew. I was like, damn, now we're responsible for all these motherfuckers. They came with us for protection. Damn it.
Yeah, there is. So if your convoy continues, this caravan will not keep up with you, and they will be stopping here in the crossroads.
It's only been 3 hours.
We've been in a carriage this whole time. Listen, well, I guess
Yeah, a lot of the people you're seeing, Tavish, are carrying what you would imagine is anywhere between 80 to 200 pounds of stuff. Like this isn't just like a casual walking group. These are people, merchants preparing to go to a different land, or people who are moving, or like these are people in it for the long haul, traveling somewhere.
People that made poor decisions.
Wow.
People who might be able to help us get in if we show up at the doorstep of the Mudfort with merchants in tow. That's a great way for economic structure. It might behoove us to make certain we can bring
Look,
them
that
with us.
wasn't Orlena that said that. That was Alicia calling out on the road.
My bad. I'm so sorry. My bad.
But I didn't think they were all coming anyway. Remember, he said they weren't all necessarily coming. They were just traveling with us until they got to where they were supposed to be going, because it was safer to go as a group.
Either way, I feel like.
Hey, and how much safer do you think they'd be if we leave them behind?
I ain't told them to come.
We've become now we're responsible for these people. If something happens to them, it will be it's on us at this point.
You do arrive at the crossroads. You see it out the windows, and it is like a mini Ambervale. It's got like nice streets. It's very lush. You can definitely tell that since they live so close to the forest, that they kind of embrace it as like a style. Everyone has little gardens, whether it's on their windows, on their porches, things like that. And it's just this quaint, like little rolling city street. Like I said, it almost feels like you're walking like down like an outdoor path, and then you're into like this midi version of Ambervale.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Orlena, but it would not behoove us as heroes to let something bad happen to these people now.
I didn't say anything.
Oh well, I don't know. You're right.
That was the inside voice, not the outside.
Yeah, I forgot again. All right. I just like these. I didn't ask these people to come here, but
well, here it seems like the party. is deliberating a little bit on whether or not they're going to continue on or, help these wayward travelers, travel safely. So while they deliberate on that, we will take a quick 5-minute break, and we will be right back on the other side with the decision of leave or let them follow.
Should I stay or should I go?
And welcome back. I am still your GM, Adam. And the party has had a fun adventure. We've got to dive into the past of some of these heroes and learn a little bit more about them. And now they are on the convoy, or in the convoy, on the way to the first wall, the bordering territory for the Mudfort proper. They have made their decision, I believe, about whether or not they are going to stay or they are going to go. So let's bring on that party. Let's bring them back in, and let's ask that question. Are we staying or are we going?
In light of the points brought up by Tavish, I elect to stay. I don't know what I can only speak for myself.
Right, is there any dissenting opinions on this one?
Well, you could look. We could always do what we said before, and you can stay inside. If you need anything, I can get it for you.
Yeah, no one
inside?
should be really.
You don't have to.
Inside the
now.
carriage, so I.
Your leg.
Oh, ha! These little legs, they're fine.
I just imagine you like
they don't need much stretching. They're good.
getting your little.
So,
Mr.
Stands
Fresh
up
Air.
inside the carriage.
Oh, I can
As
roll
you
the window
wish.
down. Yeah.
Let's get a miscellaneous d20 roll for the time it takes for the regular people in this convoy to be ready to move on out again.
Oh God.
14. That's pretty decent though.
Yeah, no, they're. You could tell, like they're taking their packs off, they're stretching their legs, they're sitting down, they're, they're making little picnics and they're eating. But a large the ones that aren't staying here in the crossroads are all like looking at the convoy like, when that leaves, we're leaving. Like parents are keeping their children like ready to go, etc. Tim opens the little slider and goes, I'm gonna go talk to this whole group, let them know we're gonna be heading out in 15 minutes. Sound good for you all?
Yeah.
I'll
that's fine.
join you.
Oh, he's gonna go with.
Okay.
To tell the people.
I'm staying right here.
Hey,
Oh, you're not getting out to go stretch your legs?
No, I'm good. Well, maybe I
the fresh
should.
air will do each of you some good rather than sitting in this drab place.
My tail been all cramped up in here. Gotta
There's
go.
15 minutes to spend. How would anyone want to spend that time?
Honestly,
I'm
I
going
would
to-
probably just want to take a quick glance. If I see anything that seems like it could be useful, that I could run and get within that 15 minutes.
Okay.
I
So
think
go
I
ahead.
might just pop out and just stand close to the carriage and just kind of like, look, I'm stretching, getting my air.
It's fair.
Tavish?
I would actually go to the group. Wow. I would actually go to the people that are caravanning with us and try and figure out who's going where. And how many people would actually be heading towards the Mudfort.
And then Epsilon.
I'm just gonna walk around outside, stretch my legs, and just idly play with fire, basically. Just
Perfect.
killing time.
Orlina, it's not that there aren't things that you could go get, but there's nothing that's jumping out at you as you're a lot of it is just kind of the same supplies as Ambervale, just on a smaller scale. So there's nothing that you're like, oh, I need this now.
All right.
That I
well,
couldn't just
do we
get.
have water?
Yes, that's all packed. Everything's packed in the second carriage. Water, food, little pop-up campsite kind of thing, all that kind of stuff.
Damn, I knew I should have got the advanced camping
No.
set from the procurement
No.
Inc. too.
For only 22,000
Everyone just-
gold. You two can have a pop-up house.
It's bigger on the inside.
It is not hard to stand outside of a cart, so Sequoia, you're killing it. And to answer you, Tavish, there are people traveling past the Mudfort, or past like the Mudfort area, and heading down to the coastal city at the bottom west, the most southwest city. But no one is going to the Mudfort.
But they'll be passing through the Mudfort.
They won't be past. They would be past like the Mudfort. They'd be passing like down the road.
Inside of the Mudfort.
But they would never go through the first wall. They would go like it would travel kind of maybe adjacent to it, and then they'll cut off west.
Understood.
He's like, damn, idea.
I also talk to Tim and see how much extra space we have in the back of our cart. Not the sitting cart, but like the cart that has supplies.
For what?
If we're going to be traveling with these people, it might be good idea for us to at least offer a little bit of relief from the struggle of carrying everything on their back. If we've got extra space and the horses can handle it, it might be a small way to gain goodwill amongst some people. You never know when someone might remember a kind face.
So there is enough space for one more like bag setup, so you could give one person a break with their bag, and then there is the one seat that you were sitting on.
But he doesn't show his face.
He got new
Can't
armor
tell
on
if that was
almost every
actually-
time.
Whoa, I don't go through outfits like that. Hold up now.
We went 2 sessions
Well,
and he got
look,
new armor.
Look, there's nowhere for me to go. I'm standing here next to her at the carriage. I'm like, he don't even show his face. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't remember like, a kind face. So now you got to pick the one person that gets to have the nice seat and gets to really get the pack. So you're gonna go through all these people and say, "You're not worthy. You're not worthy." But you go ahead. I like you.
Favoritism.
You're a good person.
I look for the oldest person.
The oldest
Those
person,
that are
the
struggling the
oldest,
most.
we'll say is 54.
Generation. Adam's
Is that
generation
old
face.
That?
So no.
Not
What's
particularly.
what's the life expectancy in Ambervale?
Right.
That's a good question.
What is the average life expectancy? Is that what the question was?
Yes.
So, in this, your average humans are, very standard. Now, the spark of being a hero changes things. There are people who have lived a lot longer because they're heroes than your run-of-the-mill, like, average person.
It just like changes your makeup when you decide to be a hero.
Well, so the being a hero isn't just something like anyone can make heroic actions. Anyone can be a hero in concept, but what allows you to go through basically what we call the milestone progress, that is a spark of something special.
You notice he ain't give me no numbers. He just said a bunch of words. He didn't give me no numbers.
I said humans are like humans, like in real life.
70
So like
or so.
70? Because the average life expectancy in the United States right now is like 76.
That's for ladies. It's like 72 for men.
So
You wonder why?
54 is not crazy old.
okay.
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 Who is struggling the most to keep up? You had mentioned that there were
Children.
families. Okay.
And there are 9 children.
A whole wagon full.
So you're gonna pick one to see which one gets to sit in the cart.
I pick one of their parents who's carrying a heavy backpack and put that in the back of our cargo.
There are 4 parents, all with roughly similar, since they're carrying the majority of their children's stuff.
Get destroyed.
While you're doing this,
I'll
Tim
grab one.
awkwardly backs away from you and then goes to the front carriage and is like, so he's ready to. And he walks up to the rest of the party. I'm gonna tell the drivers we're gonna go. He was okay with walking before, so I'm sure he'll catch up. And hops into the front.
Dang.
That's cold.
And they begin the mustering to start the travel process. So they're relatching the horses and stuff like that.
So we hopping back
Gavish.
in.
Getting right back into my little.
I have
child
one
seat in the
person.
middle.
I have one family put their bag in the back of the cart. I'll carry one and then start walking.
Okay.
He's a hero. I am just a man that wants to sit in the cart. I will
Roll.
savor this time.
Let me see a miscellaneous d20.
Boy,
Oh,
Damn.
that's
what is that for?
miscellaneous again.
It is noticeable that the other families especially, but in general, there's a amount of annoyance over oh cool, you're just gonna carry their stuff. I'll just carry my heavier bag, I guess. Or why is that family special? And the convoy's disposition is quite sour.
this is
They,
what I was
upset
saying.
these
Just
people.
let them all be.
Hey, look, that's why I stayed in the cart. I think I made the
Favorite
right
system.
decision.
Mhm. This is what I said. It probably wasn't going to be a good idea.
I'm just sticking my head out the window and watching again. Just
He would.
like, damn. I don't think it went well, y'all. They don't look very happy back there.
Tried to tell him it wasn't going to be a good idea. Because he had to pick one,
so-
and then he's like, "How'd you know the rest of them weren't going to feel some kind of way?"
Some of the chatter that you do hear, Tavish, is, obviously there's quite a bit towards just why'd this guy just pick them? Why is he helping them? Blah, blah, blah. Though there is other bickering and complaints that are there's 3 others that are just up there, in their little luxurious car, not doing anything.
No!
And so...
They just keep me looking
is,
outside.
It's our car. We had it ordered. It's what you get for being a
We
hero,
didn't ask you to come.
right?
You came on your own.
I'm not talking to them. They don't hear me.
just up on the top.
I like how quick that was.
Peasants! You're peasants!
Not even that.
Suck
they're
it,
peasants.
please.
They came of their own volition.
They knew what they were signing up for.
As the cart travels on, it is about another 3 hours or so before you are adjacent to the Mudfort. Some people have have set up little camps along the way and are taking breaks from the day of travel, etc. Others are continuing on past the convoy towards the southernmost town. None of the people in the convoy are stopping with you all as you get adjacent to the first wall.
Can I add in a? I was switching between different people carrying their stuff every hour, is what my plan was.
We only had 1 other hour left to go.
He said 3
So you carry
hours.
3 different
3
people's bags.
hours. Yes.
So 3 out of the 9 people got to feel special.
Look, give me your bag. Let me carry it for you. Give it to me.
I guess technically 6 of the 9.
As you all get to the first wall, Tim and the 2 drivers and the 2 horsemen that were with the convoy are setting up the whole like little camp for you guys to be able to return to. But like once that kind of gets underway, Tim comes up and goes, all right, so now we just have to get through that. And the sloping hills, in this area, some of which are, like 50, 60 to, even some as high as 100 feet tall, and they are brutal slopes. At a glance, you go, oh, well, you could kind of like weave and walk through the hills, and then you realize, though, that is the convergence point of all of the mud that just seems to always be slipping and sliding and sloping down these hills, though there is, again, nothing discernible creating the mud at the top of each hill. And so this soupish, porridgey oatmeal that becomes the collection point of all this mud looks somehow more treacherous than trying to climb up these steep inclines. And Tim looks at it all and goes, all right, you guys ready?
Whenever you are.
Climb through that.
1 foot in front of the other.
Oh, aren't you so clever? No kidding.
I'm getting tired of him.
It is the answer, though. And Tim starts, like, walking up the first hill.
Wait, do we have to carry all our stuff?
So Tim has a bag of, like, water, food, things like that. Right now, all of you would be at combat level of equipment, so that would give you a bonus to your initiative rolls if needed. Would you like to carry more?
No.
Wait, what are we carrying?
Right now, you're just
water.
carrying your, like, unless you mention something specifically, you are just carrying like you would have your matches, you would have arrows, you would have your bow and muffins. Like, unless you reference something now, it is just your standard equipment with no other provision.
We gotta get them walking sticks.
Yes, Tim does hand out walking sticks.
I'll go say.
The standard provisions includes ropes, right?
Yes. You have a little survival kit.
Okay.
Then enough water and food, I presume, for like a few days, or like is that not
so
what's included in the dinner, or just,
your pass into the lands only lasts for basically 24 hours, so it is an in and out. So Tim is carrying the bulk of what is required for that process.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's see how the party traverses this first hill. What's up?
Oh dear.
I was gonna say, I was
Is
gonna make a
this like
suggestion.
an athletics check?
Well, Epsilon, did you have something to add in, or a question or something?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that tie ourselves together with rope, such that if someone goes sinking, you have a way to pull them out. You can just reel them in.
I'm over here.
what
Like
I'm
if
saying?
someone goes sinking, then pulls us all with him.
Right?
I
That's
mean,
what I was
you can
just
cut the
thinking.
rope though. You can cut the rope, but I'm saying
So they
you
start.
need to have
So
something.
they start thinking you just cut it off, and what was the point of the rope in the
No,
first
the
place?
point is to help them. Okay. The rope.
So
The rope. Help each other.
attempting to go up each one of these hills, you will be allowed to do an athletics, a climb, acrobatics. Like if there's a skill you would like to try to use to sturdiness, etc. To use, you may. And we'll start with Orlina. So Orlina, you're gonna roll me a d20, and what do you want to use to try to traverse this hill?
I'm over here like I don't have any points in any of those things.
You do not. This is going to be an unmodified d20.
Are you sure you don't want the rope?
Oh my gosh, I
look at you hesitating.
I guess athletics, because what else? I'm over here
Let's
like
see
I
it.
feel like I need the physical to.
Don't muscle up.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. Your dice dancing though.
Perfect.
Always.
All right,
That was a little
Sequoia.
wobble. What? Okay. What
Oh,
were my options again?
no.
Just going?
Here.
I will
Yeah,
really get
I
to-
think we're in an unmodified D20 as well, so we'll keep it athletics as well.
Okay.
All right, Tavish. What about you? Let's see here. You've got 2 in athletics, 2 in climb. So how do you want to theme this?
Probably would do athletics. I would tie the rope that Epsilon had offered around my waist, and just using the walking stick as kind of like a help guide to just make certain I'm not hitting any points in which I might sink.
Perfect. Let's see it.
Damn.
That thing
That was almost
really
20.
hated you. It was almost.
That was a very definitive like thud.
Like thump. Yeah,
And
it's like my
Epsilon, you also have a 2 in athletics, so I assume we're going with that one.
Yep, and I'm gonna tie my little rope. You know what I'm saying? And
Who are you
walking
tied
stick
to?
style.
Let's
Right
see
now
it.
to Tavish. You know, I never know. I might need it. You know what I'm saying? I might need it.
Happiest one of us all.
Listen,
With
gotta
their
protect each other.
with their 2 points in athletics, both Tavish and Epsilon are able to traverse this first hill relatively easily, making good progress up the hill. They are in the front of the group. Orlena, you slip and slide a few times, but for the most part, you start to kind of get the hang of like going up this first stint. And then Sequoia, you're like taking up the rear of the group, and you're constantly like step, walk, and then your like walking stick will like slip past you, and then you have to like put your hand into the mud and like restand yourself back up, but you are making it up the hill as well. This first hill takes the group about 15 minutes to make it to the top of, and as you get to the top of it, you are met with the sight of just the fact that it is hills
More hills.
for about a
yeah.
mile.
More
mile of hills, baby.
fabulous.
How's Tim doing up there?
Tim looks surprisingly just like okay, despite the fact that he has way more than everything. He just kind of walked up the hill without too much issue.
Like it was a normal hill, basically.
Yes.
He's just floating.
God damn it! This
Um,
man. We chose the right one. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
He was the right one.
I agree.
Yes.
The
Look at him
as
go.
you get
I'm just
as you get to the
Look at him
top
go.
hill, it is now time. We're going to roll. I'm not going to make you roll constantly for every hill. That would be ridiculous. We'd be here for way too long doing that. So we are going to roll. I'm going to factor in athletics, climb, not evasion, but acrobatics, things like that in the rolls. But we are just going to make a party roll. Let's see how everyone traverses this the old first wall.
Hey.
That's
Oh,
looking
okay.
like
All.
looking like. Oh, we got a 3-2, baby. Woohoo! We stinking.
Oh, you guys were going. Y'all were going so easily at first, and now look at you. Now look at you.
The one advantage that Epsilon and Tavish do have is they both have 2s in athletics. Epsilon also has a 1 in acrobatics. Tavish has a 2 in climb, and then also has a sturdiness of 1. So despite those low rolls, they do have some points put in, so that will definitely help them keep up. So the party is making, all things considered, really good headway. Now, the 2 of them do have a couple of silly moments where they like forget that like the rope is tied to them. So like Tavish is like, well, if I try to walk down this hill like this slope too slowly, like my armor's going to make this. So I'll kind of like position myself so I can slide with the mud, and then forgets to tell Epsilon that this plate mailed individual is sliding down the hill, and then so Epsilon's like, all right, just put 1 foot in front of the and just gets forward by the mud. But the group is able to exactly. And then you hear
my shirt.
you hear a woman screaming out for help. Help! 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 Anyone, please! Help! This would be taking you off of your path through the mud. You would have to travel basically back up the hill you just came down, and then cut over like horizontally.
This feels like a trap.
I look
Tavish
over
looks
Tavish.
at Epsilon and is like,
We just look at each other. Just. All right. Well.
"Are we doing this?"
I guess we have to, right? Just turn around slowly in the mud.
Just trudge back up.
God.
Do we
All right,
even
are
say
the
anything
two
to
of you-
anybody, or we just go?
He said they
Yeah,
just
y'all
took
just
off and
leaving.
left us. They just
Oh.
left
Y'all
us.
just leaving.
I'm like,
Tim, did you hear that? Because I'm leaving. We gotta see what this is about.
I mean, I guess we are here for hero aid, and he's trooping with you.
Oh, he's coming to. Oh shit.
Are we going?
I mean, we kind of have to because we don't know which way we're going without Tim.
I guess.
That was not
you're
my
right.
intention. This man, he's too good at his job.
All right.
Yeah,
Fine.
you get to the top of the hill, and you can see you get to the top of the hill. You travel like horizontally over a couple, like the ridge of a couple of hills. Luckily, you don't have to go up and down too many. And you see like a woman, and she's like holding on to like a small rope that's on a stick, like put into the ground, and she's reaching for these are all orcs, by the way. Genetically orcs. She's reaching for an orc male who is like dug his axe into the mud, and he's holding a small orc child. And it's just in this massive conversion point of mud. The kid is like barely able to keep his head above the mud. It looks like he's constantly nearly inhaling mud, and the axe, because it doesn't have solid ground to grip into, is slowly giving way.
Great.
Even the orcs get messed up in the mud. See? Damn.
Okay.
Start
I wanna-
heading that way. I
So-
turn to Epsilon and I ask, like, "How do you like throw in a rope?"
I consult my character sheet. I mean,
I was gonna say, do we all have a rope, or was it just the one rope?
Each of you has a rope.
Okay.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
yeah, that's what I was asking before. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
normal part of adventuring gear to have. It's like some ropes and shit.
Then
I want
start.
to try to use my magic to sort of solidify the mud enough to stop the kid from sinking.
Let's get a roll.
I'm so scared.
Me too.
Versus Mac.
Oh!
Okay,
I ain't scared no more. I ain't scared no more.
So, one of the with this roll, before we lock it in, I need an additional calamity dice roll.
Ah, not the calamity. Not the big dice.
Oh my god.
Holy moly.
Oh, so one of the things that you do feel as you tap into it seems to subside rather quickly, but like as you tap into like interacting with the mud, you feel this weight, this looming presence of like a really old type of wild magic that like small hairs on your arm like fringe and like it like burn and like fall off your body kind of thing, but you know this feedback could have been much worse. But you are able to like create like it's basically instead of all the mud like converging into this area, it's kind of like pooling around and off to the sides, and that like the kid is now no longer near like drowning. He still has mud around their waist, but they are not in a life-threatening situation anymore. It is now just perilous.
Okay.
Okay, question. So, I guess because we're seeing all this, and in my mind, Orlando's, if she's going to help, is going to try to figure out the best way to do this without also putting herself in a position where she can't help herself or anyone. So, I guess in my mind, I don't know if this applies or not. I feel like survival would apply, and this is why I chose this for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in my one, I guess I'm over here like, can we roll for survival? But yeah, well, so honestly, to see if I can do this and it work out for everyone. Because if I'm gonna do it and I don't see a way for it to work out, we're gonna have to figure something else out.
Let's see here. Your Orlena survival.
I think I still have at least one.
You have 1 point. Perfect.
For now.
Yes. More. So you're able to identify an area where you could easily stand, where like the mud is like more like ankle deep, and like the slide of it is a little slower than some of the other slopes. That would put you within 15-ish feet of the two that are in the most perilous part of the situation, the father and the child.
I'm over here like, is my rope long enough to like try to?
Yes.
So we're gonna try it.
Let's see it. Let's miscellaneous dice roll. Don't believe you have points in throw.
I don't think so.
That's a pretty good roll, though.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Not bad at all. It's not bad at all.
Now here's the important one. The orc male has his hand on his child, the hand on the axe. He sees the rope, and he's gonna let go of his axe and try to grab the rope.
Okay.
So let's see a roll for the orc father.
Okay.
That's average.
Maybe.
Okay.
He's
Is there
able
anyone
to
near me? Are any of y'all by me?
I am.
They could move towards you, but you did move to a different position. So you were next to Sequoia. She cast. You moved over to this place, and now you're where you are. You're maybe like 20, 30 feet away from where Sequoia is now.
Okay. Because in my mind, I'm thinking like, hey guys, like, come help me. But okay.
Now you just like.
So he gets the hand on the rope, and while he does slip a little closer to the convergent point himself, because of Sequoia holding the mud away, it's not like he doesn't like sink, and so now you're bearing the weight of this orc male and his child. You will note that like the second he grabs onto the rope, you're like, oh, this guy's heavy. Like he's not. I could not pull this weight.
But he's not sinking either.
Exactly.
Hold.
Could use some help.
How far is Orlena from Tavish and Epsilon?
Probably around the same. You were a little bit ahead of the group because you guys had made the action to go there first. So it would be like travel back up the hill, maybe 10 feet, and then over.
But like, are they close enough to like reach the rope that she threw out, like at a different spot from where
like,
she's at?
Even if we're not
like,
next to
grab the
her.
rope?
No, you would have traveled to the top of the hill, seen this happening. You two would have been at the front of the group, heading down towards. She moved off to the right to a different side of the slope.
Or was more stable.
Get over there.
We go to where the rope is, the closest point of the rope is, even if that's not right next to Orlena, and grab the rope at that point and start hauling. Just start pulling the man out of it.
Epsilon, do you agree to this action?
I'm
Does he have a
following
choice?
my armored compadre.
He is still
Perfect.
tied to him, after all.
I need a calamity roll.
Oh, no, we're gonna sink, boy.
That's
We
safe.
gonna sink.
Okay.
It's 13.
Okay, that's better.
It's
Okay,
low,
sure.
but not terrible. It's low, really low for a
Let's
30.
see here. Let's roll.
Probably wanted low.
Let's roll a perception for Epsilon and Tavish. Tavish does have 2. Epsilon does not.
Nah, I don't got no wisdom.
Perception.
Yeah, no,
Perception.
but we knew
Yeah,
that.
perception. Yeah.
He don't got none of that either.
Tavish, you're able to stop yourself from taking another step forward because you notice that like the mud as it's traveling, there's this little like dip like that in it, and let's see here. You're going to roll me a Tavish, roll me a survival check.
I don't got none of that either. Dang, you dice is looking good. That hard U-turn.
Your dice is
All
solid.
right.
It just doesn't even roll or wobble or anything. It's just like, this is what it is.
Like a rock.
And
You loaded that thing, man.
One last one. Can Tavish finish it off? Let's get a reflex roll from Tavish. And this is to you see it. You identify that this is like this is a mud pit, and this reflex check, no pressure, is to stop Epsilon, who had a terrible perception roll from walking into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
have a 2 in
Okay.
reflex.
Yes,
Look
do
at
have
you
a-
with your
do have a
reflex.
2.
Okay.
You are definitely able to stop him. You're able to put a hand out and stop him, and then just like show with your walking stick that you put your walking stick in and it never touches the ground.
Gotcha. But are we able to grab the rope though?
Yeah, because I
Or
still
are we
need help,
not
guys.
You could reach over you could like lean over the pit and grab it.
Ooh.
Nah, we're gonna go uphill and get closer to Orlana where she is with her ankle and only ankle deep.
I'm like
mud
dug
spot
in.
and just
He
run
ain't
up
slipping, but I'm not slipping either. But he ain't moving because that's a lot of weight.
I ain't got it like that.
Perfect. The two of you are able to get up there with relative ease, and let's do a strength check or actually before we do the strength check, let's check in with Sequoia. Let's get another roll to see if you're able to keep up this mud separation magic.
Mud separation jutsu.
We gotta help the mom too.
Let's go.
Oh, me, Jesus Christ!
Oh!
That does
And
do something for
there.
the
The
magic.
20 was right there. So
with-
close.
Doesn't she have extra for the earth
si-
magic?
Since we
Right.
are still
Wait,
interacting,
do I have extra for Earth magic?
Since we are still yes, you have a +1. And, since you are still interacting with the mud, though, I am going to need another calamity roll.
God.
Oh,
The hairs on your head are going away this time. Ooh!
oh my God!
Oh! Nice!
That's scary. That's scary.
So, again, you feel
Is high
like
good for us, or is
high
For
is good. High is
calamity?
good for the party.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
I'm just like, this is.
I was like,
okay.
wait.
Now,
to recap,
See, I got that backwards. Okay, we're good.
To recap, calamity. It is the lower the roll, the worse for the party. The higher the roll, the better for the party. But no calamity roll is ever good for the party. It's just shades of less bad.
Yes.
You like as you're trying to like focus in, you feel your ability to like keep this magic going, like slipping and waning as the mud is like piling up. The child is still like it's more like shoulder deep now, but they are still far away from drowning in the mud, so you're able to keep it from being lethal. However, you do feel that this weird magic that is around, adjacent, or touching the mud in some way, shape, or form, like reaching out at you again, and you feel like goosebumps ripple down your arms, a chill runs down your spine. You feel like a tightness in your chest as you're like trying to like continue breathing, and it's just this weird pressure that seems to come from nowhere while you're trying to manipulate the magic. While you're trying to manipulate the mud with your magic. But the child is not dying. So,
Okay. Is there any way that
and-
can I try to like while I'm doing this to try to like use my magic to force the mud to push the kid back up? Like it's kind of
course,
like
you're
goes-
always welcome to try.
Well, she's having a heart attack.
I'm scared of this. Yeah, I know I'm having a heart attack, but it's okay. Let's try to. I'm still trying to save this kid. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Reluctant hero.
Okay.
14 is
okay.
14 with
Not
a
bad.
1 is very solid. However, we do still need to get that calamity dice roll for interacting with the mud with magic.
Magic mud. Please be higher.
Okay.
Luck
Okay.
is
Okay.
sin.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything, so.
You get this. Your nails feel a bit brittle. Like more of the
Gross.
hair on your arm starts to like fizzle away. You feel like a creaking ache in some of your fingers, but for the most part, you're like unharmed, and you're able to have the mud kind of start like churning like upwards and like kind of bubble the child to the surface. And with that, it is easy for the party and the to pull up the orc father and him to walk up the hill and avoid the pit, as there is no pressure on the kid. And
Now we gotta get Mom. I said, now we gotta get Mom.
Was Mom thinking, or was
Mom
she
was
just
sure-
kind of
so-
was safe trying to do the same thing that we did.
yeah.
Okay.
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 And so the group makes it up, and the orc stands to his full height at like just over 7 feet tall.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think my boy would have lasted much longer had you not intervened.
What
I
happened?
don't know if I would have either. He lost his footing and slid down the hill.
Oh.
You guys okay?
Treacherous out here.
And thank goodness that he and you were able to regain it and get back up. With a little help.
Little.
Hello.
Are you traveling into the mudflats?
Yeah. We're
trying
reloading.
to.
Yeah, we're working on it. Kind of
We're going to rest at the top of the hill, but thank you again. And they
You're welcome.
move to the top of
what
the
wa-
hill.
What was your name?
That's all I was thinking. Generation.
It's gone.
Generation.
Oh.
What was his
Okay.
name, Adam?
His name
Cann. Cann.
Oh, okay.
Gone.
All right. Like, I think I can make it up the hill.
Adam, the questions like he wasn't prepared for. I don't know what the orc's name is.
We go in. Let's. I guess we better get on our way.
All right. Well,
We'll see you in the mudflats.
can he hear us? He's
Yeah.
gone already.
I mean, my voice
he's
is like
good.
so
I mean,
tiny compared
you
to
all
like
would-
how tall he is. It's be like,
You all would be traveling up the same hill, so as you're getting
Oh,
back on
cool.
on
Okay.
on your
Of
way.
course.
So what was the question?
She said, like, are we gonna?
are we gonna see
We'll
you
see
in
him
the
along the
mudflats?
way.
Right. If they're
You will, yes. We live at one of the towns on the entrance into the mudflats from the first wall.
All right.
well.
If I see you, I'll owe you all a drink. Presuming
good.
our drinks are up to your standards.
I'm sure they're wonderful.
You see, they like get to the top of the hill, and they just like sit into the mud, and they pull out food. It's like wrapped, and they start eating it. It's so clear that some of their food just has mud on it. They're like they pull out like a canteen of water, and you can see as he like pours it into his mouth, it is muddy water. Like it's not even like super clean water. And they just have what looks like a picnic at the top of this awful muddy hill.
Well,
God.
we better be on our way.
Okay, we'll see ya.
And let's as we get through, let's see how the party fares one last time, traveling through the first wall. A roll for each one of you. Let's see it.
Dang it.
Good job, you
Not
all.
very good for me.
That's 20 though.
Alicia's
that
doing
tree.
great.
Got that tree.
I'm a little struggling. I'm
Hey, look,
struggling a
She
bit.
said she's on the struggle bus.
I'm on
why I tied
Tavish
Tavish.
and Epsilon with your bonuses, again, you're able to do quite well, though there are a few moments again where Tavish's like survival and stuff like that is what stops Epsilon from being like, I can really walk through these hills. And he's like, that's another mud pit. Don't fall in that.
Don't do that,
And
please.
then Orlina, you're able, like, you're like, I'm getting the hang of this. Like, you know, you just kind of walk like in it like a little serpentine, make sure you find the good spots. You find a good spot, you travel up the good spot. Like, why would you travel anywhere else that's not these good spots? Ankle deep mud, that's what I'm here for. And
Galoshes would have
Sequoia,
came in handy.
you're keeping up with the group, but you're left with the echo of interacting with the mud, and it's still like you find yourself like in thought about it, like the fact that it is very clear that like it's natural mud, like it is just mud, but it's almost like there's a magic around the mud or a magic next to it. It's not magic mud. But there's something attached or connected to it,
like,
and it's
seeping from like underneath, or like running under the earth, or like running through it.
The
or...
closest feeling that you've had is whenever you would do any sort of like combat adjacent training with Hedera, and both of you were trying to manipulate the same plant at the same time. The plant itself wasn't magical, but a magical entity was operating, you know, around or through it, and so there's like this resistance, this, you know, almost synaptic feedback that's happening because of two entities operating on the same source.
There's something somewhere that's controlling the mud.
Yeah.
There's a source.
Yeah. Do you talk about this, or are you just?
No, I'm still thinking about it because I'm trying to like recall where the
'Cause-
feeling is from, and I'm just
because
trying
we don't
to-
know what happened to her.
Then the glorious moment happens. You reach the peak of the final hill, and you look out into the mudflats. This
This is like
just
not.
awful, flat, barren, just expanse of mud, of just awful mud. And you begin the treacherous journey, maybe slightly less treacherous, through the mudflats.
Ugh.
Well, I was gonna say we did it, guys, but I mean, is that really anything, any kind of accomplishment?
Well,
Considering that we
don't have
saved
as far
others,
to go.
and we've
Yeah.
prevented anybody from dying from the first wall, and we made it through the first wall ourselves.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
better than what the Ambervalian army has had with their chances when they try to get through the mud on the first wall.
I mean, they didn't
True.
make it, so.
And
But,
those on
let's
the
just,
inside didn't make it out.
We don't want to be like them either. Uh-oh.
They will be fine.
The mud flats are so flat, it's so level that as you like get down and you're looking out, you can just see the towns. There's so little like disrupting the vision of the land that
That
you're
sounds like
like,
Midwest.
oh, they're over there, that one, because I can see it. Again, traversing through is not the most fun, but this area seems to be, like I said, less treacherous. There are a few parts though where you're in what would be waist deep mud for Tavish. So
So then how am I walking around?
You on somebody's shoulders or something?
Yep.
Well,
Just a
luckily,
little head above.
luckily you just don't sink as far as Tavish does because you're not wearing
that's
plate
fair.
now. But
that's
for
fair.
like parts for you, Tavish, are like you're literally having to like hand shovel like enough mud out to like shift your way through to
no.
like forcibly step. And it really puts it into perspective, like as you're going through this, how and why the like once this all happened, that the Ambervale army that was deployed here was just gone.
And I was going to say, orcs don't really wear armor like that in the same way, right?
Orcs are a little more selective in what armor they wear.
Lightly armored.
As you are approaching the town, one of the things you do see, though, is what looks like an absolute massive turtle tortoise like creature being like dragged like and like makeshift rolled over the mud. I believe we have a picture of what this turtle vaguely looks like. And this is what you see them like. It is massive. It is along the lines of like you would guess from like stomach to the top of its shell is about 20 feet tall.
Damn.
Wow.
And they are dragging this like corpse into town.
It's dead.
How far away from us is it? I don't think the turtle's dead. I think it's dragging a dead body.
No. They are like orcs are dragging this turtle into town.
Oh,
They're about to have some...
Heard it backwards. Turtle soup.
Wow. And you arrive at the first of the towns surrounding the mud in the mudflats. It is desolate. It is sad. All of the buildings and props and stuff are held up by posts that they just shove into the mud as far as they can go, and then all of the buildings are as lightly constructed as possible. That way, they sink as little as they can. They have large, like flat wooden bases that kind of get like propped up, and then it is fabrics and things like that to for the most part. Yeah, it's not fun. An orc looks over at the party, and he stands up. This one's not quite as tall as the previous one. This one stands at a very short for orcs 6'5", and looks down at the party. What are you all doing here?
We are we're on our way to the Mudfort.
We're a hero's aid.
He looks at all of you and then locks in on Sequoia.
Oh. I think Say it again.
What'd you say?
I said we're a hero's aid from, just traveling here.
Yeah.
Oh. Folks.
What's so funny?
An older orc like pokes his head out. What? They're heroes aid. And the orc that poked his head out starts laughing as well. And the one that addressed the party is like, well, fix what you can, little heroes. And he like walks away from the party.
Did I say something wrong?
Are we sure that we really need to be giving them aid?
I don't think you said anything wrong, but maybe we should keep going.
Try the town over there?
Well,
our
Are we
best
supposed to
bet
be going somewhere in particular?
is to go to the Mudfort proper.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
we
so
should-
the
maybe we
the
should,
Mudfort
keep
proper
going.
the Mudfort proper is your ultimate goal. It is not what is slated for you on this trip, as you right now you have permission to access the mud flats. The attempt is that you do some
Gotta do
missions
some good
and
stuff.
they'll- Exactly. There
Gotta
are
do
a few
some
different
good
towns in the mud flats. There is the town as you are in this town. You can tell that the turtle is being dragged to a town slightly deeper into the mud flats. So you could head that way if you so choose, or you can look around this town. Up to you.
I'm gonna go ask about the turtle.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
Who
you
would
go
you
do
like to
that.
ask about the turtle?
Whoever's dragging the turtle.
So you're leaving this town and you're heading off to catch up.
Oh, are
with
they out of
the
the town, or are they like
Yeah,
driving?
they're past this town.
Seem in
They're
the
heading
distance.
to the next
Oh,
one.
okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then. I thought they were like
She's
well,
like, I'm not.
still dragging it through the town, and I was gonna be like, "Hey, what's going on?" But like, if they're already out, then
She's
no.
like, I'm not leaving here by myself.
I think you step on me.
I suppose
I'm not even
we
sure if there's
probably should look around.
Perfect. How would you
Although-
like to look around this orc town?
It's gonna be some dumb stuff. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Just loose in the world. I guess I'm not even really like.
To give you an idea of what's in this town, there is a few different houses. There is what looks like some sort of like medical-ish like setup, and then there is a bar, and that is all that is in this town.
I guess maybe I'll say maybe we should go and see if they need any medical help. No,
I was gonna
that's
say,
something.
is it like a tent or is it just an area?
It is just it's just an area and a tent.
Okay.
Everything is just an area and a tent.
Yeah, we could see if there's anyone in the tent.
We have to
in
prove
said
our worth
tent.
somehow, and until the person that Sequoia saved gets back, no one is gonna believe what happened. I feel
How
like
do we know that they even live in this town? They could have lived in that town over there. He just said one of the towns.
either way, the deed will be passed on eventually. I don't think it matters which town he lives in. But once he gets back, we know word will be brought about what you did. Maybe you'll get some more respect next time then.
So you're heading over to the medical tent, Epsilon?
I will say, well, I ain't got real skills. I was going to say if Orlando wanted to come with me because I ain't got no skills in this
I was
business.
gonna say, I feel like we should.
I'm about to burn their
go to
wound,
the
and that's
tent.
about it.
Oh
Cut
god,
rest
no,
of
don't do
them
that.
Fire.
Burn down the tent, and we get chased out of town.
Oh,
Because apparently
That's
there's
why
not
I'm
much
using-
in the town anyway. So let's go to the let's check the medical tent.
right.
You head over to the medical tent, and at the medical tent, it is really more just so the outside is just kind of like covered bodies of corpses, and then on as you go into the tent, there's just like one orc sitting in a chair with like four different people are like on beds around him. They're all like coughing, wheezing, very emaciated. There does not seem to be any real medical supplies. He just has in his hand what looks like an odd like little hooked spear tip kind of thing.
What is that for? Oh no.
The orc. So on the beds around, there is someone who presents as elf, someone who presents as human, and then two that present as orc, and then the one sitting in the chair presents as orc. He looks up. What do you want?
What's
I look at Orlena.
what's happening? What's going on with everybody?
Dying.
What do you
Anything.
mean?
They'll be dead soon.
How did they get this way? That's what I mean.
He points at the elf, or the presenting elf, and goes, "Drank too much water." Points to the human. Tried eating food not for him.
Damn.
And then he points to one of the orcs, and his genetic issues. And then he points to the other one, and the other one looks like actually just like he looks like in relatively good health in comparison to the other ones. He's just scratched, bruised, beaten, bleeding alike, and his wounds are all infected. Hurt in battle.
Oh, okay.
I'll like lean over and whisper.
Sequoia's here too, right?
You got anything? Y'all got anything for this?
I was going to say, can you help some of them too? I don't.
You might be able to heal the wounds with some like plant like extracts, but I don't know about the water and food
Okay.
poisoning.
Just because I'm not sure how this is gonna work out, I feel like I want to take one of my healing muffins and I want to break this bitch in half, and I want to try because I don't know. And
Good.
I know honestly at this point because I'm like they should be okay, but
Got to do something.
I know, and.
I just admit,
You know what?
putting the
At this
muffin in
point,
the
I'm
wound.
gonna take. Honestly, no. At this
No.
point, I was like, we're gonna have to. Look, I don't want to force feed people. But we're gonna have to we might have to force feed them again. Here we are again.
And you're gonna have to chew
So
it up.
all right,
then,
I'm gonna take two. And I'm gonna take two of them, and I'm gonna try to give everybody half, and
Give
see if
everybody
it helps.
half. Perfect. So let's we'll go one at a time. We'll start with the presenting elf. Let's see
too much
how
water.
the magics affect him
Oh, dear.
with a miscellaneous d20.
Okay.
He's the one with the too much water, right?
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Nice, very nice, very nice.
Okay.
Your dice
Next
is
up,
doing good.
next up we will do the presenting human.
Dang, your
Okay.
sponsor tried to come
Okay.
back again.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
And then we'll do the orc, the first one, not the battle injured one, but the genetic one.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. I swear, if your muffin heals genetic issues, then you're gonna have to start selling them joints.
Right?
And then finally, our
help
orc
somewhat.
that is battle wounded.
Yo, my
Dang.
dice don't like orcs.
Hey, it didn't roll bad though. It didn't roll bad though.
It
It rolled
did.
good.
Notice how
It
the
rolled
elf
bad,
got the
huh?
highest help.
Oh, that's true. You ain't slick.
The
Got the biggest piece of muffin.
you notice a little bit of warmth to the skin of the presenting elf like appear, and he shoots up like and just like turns and starts vomiting out water. Like it is just this sludgy mix of mud and what looks like, you imagine, mold and fungus, like that is just pouring out of this person's stomach.
Is it away from me at least?
Yes, he does look the other way and not just
Okay,
vomits
awesome.
on you. The human makes no noticeable sign of improvement. And then the genetic orc, the first one, the one with the genetic issues, looks like, I mean, again, they look better off, but they don't have a noticeable improvement to like their situation. And the battle-ridden one, the like wounds, basically non-infected wounds begin to heal. Infected wounds are at a point where just like a magic healing like this isn't going to be enough, but he does look significantly better off than he would have been if you didn't do this.
I'm sitting here looking like, do I got any survival or anything like that I can use to clean these? No.
He's got nothing. Good stuff.
I'm so combat focused.
Would survival apply to that?
It could as like an adjacent skill. It wouldn't be like a direct one, but it could be like to understand the area, etc.
Because I'm thinking, I was like, if survival has something to do with that, and I can clean them, would you be able to make something to put on them to maybe help the infection?
Yeah, I could create
biggest
like
ones...
an herbal salve.
Well, I mean, so you wouldn't use survival. Study medicine would be the better, would be a better skill, and you do have that one.
I do.
And then caregiver would be another one that would be good, but you don't have that one.
No.
So do you want to make a knowledge medicine roll?
Yeah.
Let's see it.
How did I overlook that one of all the things that I'm looking at here?
Oh, that one was trying to come out.
Don't
That
do
was
it.
close.
Don't do it.
It was also
Not
close
bad,
to
not
the sponsor, number 19.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
It's a pretty standard infection. It's basically like, you're like, yeah, it is unsurprising. They were cut, they were bleeding, and then they soaked it in mud. And water, and everything that is outside it just festered, and like,
that's how it goes.
so
There's smells of cheese.
now, as you look around the room with the idea of like, okay, so I should clean this.
What can we do?
You realize that any of the water that they have in this room wouldn't help. So the only water you have that would be clean enough would be your own supply of water that was brought with the group for drinking.
I knew I should have got more water. No.
You were right though. We thought it was dumb, but you was right. All right, well, I offer my little canteen.
Wait. What were you gonna say?
Save your strength, lad. Here, take some of mine.
Because I don't have to use all of it. I shouldn't. Well, I don't know. Do I have to? How much of it do we need to use?
It will take about a full canteen because of the amount of infants that this person has.
Before we dump out our water onto them, could I try healing like the infection with some plant magic, some herbal remedies?
Yeah, of course. Let's see a roll.
Okay.
Damn.
So you are a little limited on your own supplies for this. You know what you can do. You know what you should do. With what you do have, you're able to just start clearing up a decent amount of the infection. However, to clear him of all of his infections, you would have to grow a plant. Like you would have to grow like an herb to interact with, which does mean interacting with the mud again. Is that something that you would do?
Yes.
Is there
Let's see
any
it.
way? Is there any way I can assist this? Give you strength.
Would you have communicated that you're doing this, or would you just kind of hit your own groove and be
just like, you know?
Oh dear. And do what?
I mean, I would kind of let them know that I was like, hey, I got to try to see if I can grow this extra herb that I need.
Well, I guess to be fair, I still don't know that there's something wrong with the mud like that.
That's
They
fair.
haven't told
Actually,
us.
you know that's a good point. So let's just let's see a Sequoia roll.
Please be good.
Okay.
Damn.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a
Sponsor.
really good roll, but
Thank
you know
you,
what
God.
follows a
Oh,
roll
the
in
calamity.
mud? A
Because of the
calamity roll.
mud. Because of the mud.
Oh! That's pretty low. That's pretty low.
With your high roll, you're gonna have an option here, but this option's going to be presented in the sidebar.
Oh,
Oh my lord.
okay.
As you attempt, you're going through, you're bringing up this herb to grow. You feel that same presence like attach onto you as you're interacting like with the soil and this plant growing through the mud, and there's no sentience to be found. There's not like the feeling of a person, but this horrible urge to like basically, as you're trying to remove an infection, you feel this thing, this entity, this whatever, treat you like an infection, and you feel like this surge of magic start like rushing towards you, and like even as the fringes start touching you, you feel like the connection of like your body to your magic to like the world begin to like slip and fade as like your fingertips like start to singe and blacken. Would you continue the spell cast, or would you simply like stop the spell cast and let go of this connection?
I think I would stop because I don't know what's happening, and I want to like, I don't know what the effect is going to be, so I'm just going to kind of just like, oh, okay.
Perfect. Because of your high roll in the spellcast, there is other than like the fringing of your fingertips, there is no other negative consequence as a reward for the roll.
Yay.
To the party!
Oh!
Uh-oh.
All you see is Sequoia going through her spell casting, and then as she's like bringing up, like attempting to bring something up from the mud, she kind of recoils and stops.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Are you alright, lass?
I'm not sure. That was weird. There's something in the mud that came after me.
You in the mud, like physically?
There's a magic underlying there, and I don't think it likes me messing with it.
Can I do study arcana to try and understand what things could possess natural elements?
Of course.
What does he not have?
Can I get on this too?
Right?
Can I get on
Literally.
this? I gotta
Yes.
A lot. But
So study
did
arcane, one for Tavish, one for Epsilon. Epsilon has a 1 in it. Tavish has a 2.
Damn, look at you.
Oh.
You so smart.
Put your heads together.
All I studied was fire magic. I got
Oh
an 8.
God.
And
Damn, look at that sponsor! The sponsor!
Right? Woo! Today's episode is brought to you by the number 19.
The number 19.
Unfortunately for Tavish's great role, both of you do come to the conclusion that without more information, there's just so many things it could be. Like there has been, like, you definitely know it could be like a mage or a wizard that has enchanted an area, an item, or an object. Though the Mudfort is a large territory, so they'd have to be exceptionally powerful. During the Fall of Darkness, there were tons of dark deals between demons and devils and crazy creatures. There are things like the primal magics. There are things like the star gods, and then on top of that, there's just like odd and weird wild magics. So it's both of you kind of come to the conclusion that if you're going to figure out the answer to what is going on here, all of you will have to pay attention to how your magics and whatnot interact with the land and whatnot, and kind of keep a report going.
All right, well, I didn't learn anything.
There are too many things that it could be, and we just don't know enough. So just, I hate to say it, but we have to just pay attention and let each other know what we feel, or what you feel.
Yeah. It's kind of strange. It's like old and strong. But it's not sentient. It's just
A force.
there. Yeah.
Well, I'm not very useful here, so I'm gonna go and to go outside for a bit while y'all finish up here.
The older orc in the chair goes, so there's nothing else you can do for that one, and he points to the human presenting one. Yeah.
Is that a question
What
or a
was
statement?
with that one again?
Was the human one? Was that the
That's
one
the
with
one with
That was the one
food,
that
right?
the ate food that wasn't for them.
Uh-huh.
Oh wait,
me
like they ate
see.
some food that wasn't for human presenting people and it messed them up, or like they ate someone else's food and got beat up. Because
no. There's no physical like harm done to the person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all internal.
He was
I
poisoned.
got no kind of.
I
I got. Either of you
Let me
know anything about
see.
poisons?
I do actually. Yeah, Hedera taught me a lot. She was good. She was good at figuring out the poisons and stuff. Let me see if I have anything that I can use as like an antidote here.
Do we know it's poison?
Well, maybe just something to counteract the effects of whatever it is that he's.
I mean, it's poison
Dealing
ink
with.
at the very least.
You
They
could
did something.
do a
Could
knowledge
I do-
medicine. Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
Perfect.
I was gonna
Let's
say
see.
that. Might as well try it again. Yeah.
Orlina, knowledge medicine.
Shit.
The
The
sponsor
humans
failed.
just out of luck, bro.
So close.
So-
Humans out of luck.
The
I got a
easy
4.
part, as you give an examination, as you like press on like the stomach, you can just feel that whatever they ate has probably dissolved a large part of their like inner like intestinal makeup. Like as you press on it, it just feels like this soft liquidy like soup, and you can feel clumps of what you imagine are the muffin you tried to have them eat, which is, you're like, oh, this is why it didn't have an effect. They don't have the ability to break like resources down anymore
and absorb it and whatnot. Oh, no.
What did
My
he
dumbass
eat?
is like, squish it.
The squishmallow now.
he tried to eat mud fruit.
Mud
What's a
fruit?
mud
What
fruit?
the
Doesn't even sound appealing.
He reaches over into like like a small wooden box and pulls out like a little burlap bag, and he like holds up what looks like just a ball of mud, though it is very like circular, like a fruit, so it's clearly not just mud. And he takes a bite out of it, and it is like weird browns and tans and colors, but as he like bites into it, it is very clearly like it makes like almost the sound of like an apple as he bites into it.
Okay, note to self: no mud fruit. No mud fruit.
Is
We
he
don't eat
okay?
the food here.
What's up? Do you know what happened with his stomach there?
It feels like it melted his insides. So no mud fruit.
Okay.
I don't know what we can even do because I could still feel the muffin in there. It was just there. His body can't break it down.
Um,
Sounds like it's my turn then, yeah.
Oh.
what you got? What can you do?
He walks over
The stick.
to the person, and he like puts a hand like on like their eyes, and then lifts their chin up a little bit, takes the stick and like lines it up with like the spine, and then in one motion that, despite his age and relative frailty, he moves it like down, and with a sickling pop you hear it like move through the back of the brainstem and scrape up on the inside of the skull, and then he slips it out, and he picks up the human presenting body, moves it out side, lays it in the mud, and then puts a blanket over the head,
Holy
and
shit.
then walks back in and sits down. At least we have a vacancy now. And he reaches over and he pulls like a rope, and you see like a orange flag come down and a white flag go up.
Am I still in the room with y'all?
You said you
Yes,
left.
I know
I
I
mean-
was leaving, but I was like, this is like happened right when I was starting to leave.
Yeah, this is before you left. We'll keep
I'm
it
just
simple.
like,
We'll just say it's before.
Are you saying there's more people like this all throughout the town?
Yes. In fact, since we're the fringe village, we'll be getting a shipment, for lack of a better term, pretty soon.
Of what?
The other towns and villages, ex-populace.
This is where they send people to die?
No. The shipment will be the already deceased.
Oh.
Oh my god. And so, how do you bury
What do
everybody?
they expect you to do with all the dead bodies?
If you saw it earlier, the undershell of the turtle will be brought back here. Each of the bodies will be aligned on the inner shell. It'll be dragged out to one of the deeper mud lakes, and they'll be given a burial. It's the only way to ensure that they don't rise back to the top.
You put them in a turtle shell and then sink them in a lake?
Yes.
Oi.
We used to burn the bodies, but it became too taxing to have that much wood around.
Wow.
Where'd you get the wood?
We would have to go out to the forest,
Well,
which presented its own issues.
Huh.
I turn to Elena and say, Do you still need the water for the one with wounds? So we can clean his wounds and hopefully prevent that sort of fate. The ones with cuts.
Should we try? I don't.
Aye, take my water. I'm not thirsty anyways.
I'm going outside.
With the previous medical rolls from Sequoia, cleaning up the rest of the wounds is easy, as a lot of the bulk work was already done. It just couldn't be finished because the plant couldn't grow. And so the battle-worn orc looks quite a bit better, and looks like they actually might make a full recovery. The human, you saw what happened. The orc does go over the orc doctor, or what, does go over to the other the genetic orc, and gives them a good old fashioned final moment, and then the only person to leave with the party is the presenting elf one, who is very weak and but is like, oh, thanks. I don't think I would have lasted much longer.
I
What
take
does he
the
look
elf, kind of help support his weight and kind of no, the thanks is not due to me, but those two. Is there a place we can get you to lay down?
He does slap your hand aside.
Pah! Get that shit off, man.
Thanks for the help. I don't require anything else from you, though.
Hey, buddy.
See,
We just
Alright.
saved your life.
He does come up to with the final thought of what Tavish said. He does come up to Orlina and Sequoia, though, and go, "For what it's worth, thanks."
Okay,
And he
you know what
starts
I'm
heading
gonna
over
say.
towards the bar.
Does he look familiar?
No, not even a little bit.
I do this with all the elves. Okay.
You a dang. Are you
For
my
what
cousin?
it's worth. I mean, I guess you're welcome. Jeez. Ungrateful.
you know what? I hope he drinks some more water. Let's go.
Damn.
And he heads over into the bar.
Stay away
Where's the
from the
party?
water.
Wasted 2 muffins. 1 muffin. Half a muffin.
It was half a muffin on that guy.
Aye, one muffin. The other orc didn't make it.
Well, that was worth a try. We don't know.
As you all are standing here, a series of sleds are basically pulled in by just a bunch of people with ropes on the backs of the sleds. It is just like honeycombed racks of bodies.
Oh my gosh.
You would imagine that their little convoy of sleds is pulling something around somewhere north of 100 people.
Damn.
What is
Is this normal?
I'll look to the people pulling the sled and it's like, are there always this many? Or is there something plaguing the lands?
Luckily, this is a light day. Only had to do 1 sled run. Normally, it's 2 or 3.
You have that many
Damn.
people dying a day?
So this
What's
is a good thing then.
I mean, not all of these people have been dead. Today. Some of them just take longer to get here from the more inner towns.
What? But what's happening to them?
Dying.
How are they dying?
You guys are not very
Ah,
you guys went through very-
Don't do it.
It's a bunch of different things. I'm not a doctor. I pull sleds.
That's a good point. I'm not
Okay.
here though.
Thank you.
Okay.
But it is good to hear that there are less of the dead of late.
I feel
How
like
do you have
That's
so many
my
people still left over if you got this many people dying there, like, so often?
There's the
It's
people that live out in the towns. What do you mean?
This is normal. How does your population even like sustain itself if you guys are dropping dead like horseflies?
Just make sure that we reproduce.
I'm certain that you ladies don't need an example of that, I hope.
You broke them.
I can't be broken.
I just didn't have a response to that. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, but ultimately today's light because that thing, and he points towards the turtle that just has been dragged into the other town, like to the next to the other town, interrupted one of the sled pools. So, realistically, it just means tomorrow's going to be a lot more work. Probably a 4 or 5 sled pull day.
You see that? He's trying to reproduce.
I'll leave you to your work then. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
What brings you humans and sort here?
We're trying to do what we can to help, and how best to help, if there is any that need it.
Yeah. You sound like you need to go talk to Galatrax. Helping. Let me guess. You all call yourself heroes.
Yeah.
Why
does everybody keep laughing at that?
The orc, the orc that greeted you at the entrance to the town goes, "Yes, they said they're here for heroes' aid." And then he starts chuckling, and as he starts chuckling, the orcs are all like saying it to each other, and like all of the orcs that were pulling sleds are all just like deep hearty like
Glad I'm not here to
want our
witness
help
this.
or not? We're outside now.
Yeah, but I walked away. I was going somewhere else.
Where are you going?
Right.
Ain't nowhere to go.
That's what I got a plan. I'm doing something. All right.
There's 3 tents.
But yeah, so you
And
should
if
talk
you
to
don't mind-
Galatrax if heroes are what you call yourself. You'll find that bleeding heart over in the next town. I'm sure they'll have some feast with their turtle.
Oh. Well,
I guess we just follow the turtle then. All right.
Hey,
that makes sense.
we might as well.
Alrighty.
Galatrax might be able to inform us a little bit better on the state of things here.
But what's happening with all these people dying all the time?
Hey, that's
As,
just life, lads.
That many people at once? That's not life. That's a plague.
No, not all at once. Over the span of days.
That's a lot for a couple days. Unless
Aye,
they're in
but
the
look
middle of a
around
war
ya.
and like they're all dropping dead from battles, you know. But if all the other, that guy just ate something bad, and that other one just, you know, drank too much mud water.
Aye, but look around you, lass. The land's
Are you
not here to be hospitable.
I was
It's
going to
here
say,
to
are
be
we
ruthless.
walking?
Heading to the you're heading to the next town.
The land here is not hospitable.
What I wanted to do.
Rejects that which rejects itself.
Yeah, but I mean, how are there even still people here if they're all dying from just like eating food and drinking water?
Do you think they have to go elsewhere?
Why is
But I
that
mean, like,
always
how
his
is it?
answer?
Right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, how are there still people in these towns if everybody's dying from like basic necessities? Like, you're trying to eat something and you're dead. You try to drink some water and you're dead. Like, how do the towns still even exist?
Because most...
It's a fair question.
It seems like most of those who are trying to eat something or drink something are not aware of what they should or shouldn't eat or drink here. It's not all orcs dying all the time. It's just different types of orcs dying all the time.
Tim, what do you know about all this?
I forgot about Tim.
I know, right? I just
Honestly,
remembered him.
too.
You just remembered that he was there.
I mean, it does seem like part of the problem here is supply, and just like, I mean, everything's awful. Like, I mean, there's mud on everything. Like, I don't think I have a single item left on me that's just not covered in mud. And I haven't even fallen over like you guys.
Damn. Roasted.
I didn't fall.
Sorry. Slips. As you make it to the next town, it is quite a different like vibe. It is still the same like setup and grouping and all that, though it is a lot more like cheerful as they are like hacking into this turtle and pulling scales off and pulling like meat out and wrapping it up as quickly as possible to stop it from having as much mud on it as as they can. Children are like on the top like turtle shell having a mud fight, just throwing like just mud balls at each other. And an orc walks up to the group and looks at you all and goes, you all must be from Ambervale. I'm Galatrax Kaelgor.
Hey, he
Huh.
looks familiar.
That name sounds familiar.
Looks very familiar. Wait a minute, was he one of the heroes from last campaign?
Yes.
You wouldn't. So you wouldn't.
I wouldn't know this, but this is okay.
Yeah.
Or Lena might.
You wouldn't happen to be related to Ruxgar Kaelgor, would you?
I am of his lineage, though sadly it has fallen short of late. My father is not what Ruxgar would have wanted him to be, and he's not what I aspire to be.
Damn.
But if you're from Ambervale, you must be here to help. There's a lot to do. Come,
Are you gonna
please.
laugh at us like everybody else has?
Join me for a drink, and we'll talk of some of the ailments of the land.
You look like
As the party follows him into the bar inn, we will be calling it here for today. Otherwise, we are going to be going into dangerously late territory. So we will pick up at the bar with Galatrax in our next session. We got to learn a decent amount about our characters, though, today. Got to slip and slide in some mud and deal with the gallow humors of the orcs. And so it is going to be a lot of fun to see how the party continues to interact. As a little post session thing, I am going to go ahead and say that. So here's a decision. We'll go through each person real quick. All right, Orlena, would you like to have an additional a minor cinematic token, or would you like to upgrade your minor cinematic token to a medium cinematic token?
All right, what's the difference, real quick?
So minor ones would be like just like little narrative decisions that you can throw in the moment and they become canon. A medium one would allow you to do that same thing just on a larger scale. So you could make a larger decision, but you have one
Let's make it 2.
Make it 2. All right. So Orlina has 2 minor tokens. All right. And Sequoia, what about you? Do you want to do 2 or 1 medium?
Let's make it a medium.
1 medium token. All right. You know who's next. Tavish, what you got?
I'm gonna do a medium token as well.
And we go up.
And Epsilon. What about you?
I would also like to have a medium token. No, I'm trying to get that one big moment.
All right, so everyone's got their tokens, and yeah, we are all set with the post one. We will be fully into our milestone by the next session. We will have that worked on out, and we'll make sure that gets introduced properly. The next session will be on. I know how months work. April 3rd, so it'll be a lot of fun for sure as we find out what help the party can lend Galatrax in the mud flats, this awful mud place. I'm gonna make everyone hate the word mud. Like you're gonna walk out after a rainy day and you're gonna see mud on the ground and you're gonna be like,
I'll make you think I like mud now.
Right.
Before we get on out of here, we do have one important question that needs to be answered, which is to Ian. How did Ian feel about the choice in Squire? That was asked earlier at the start of the episode, and we said we would answer it. So let's hear it. Ian, what do you think of the choice of Squire? Floor is yours.
I am glad that we did not go with How did you pronounce his name?
The flower guy?
The flower guy?
No, the healer.
Or Derek.
Carrot?
Oh, the hero. Like the really apathetic. The apathetic
Very glad
guy.
you did not go with Carrot. That seemed very depressing and very frustrating.
That's what I was saying. See, listen. That's why my speech was important. I was like, listen, my daddy told me party composition and whether or not you can stand the person. 2 very important things to think about.
And admittedly, I didn't want to have to worry about Mr. Flirty McFlirtface.
Oh my god.
The flower guy.
Yeah.
The entire time. Of just like him being like, well, ladies, hello. It'd be like, okay, no, you need.
I was like, he's gonna
insult
insult someone.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's gonna hit on somebody's daughter and he's gonna get axed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
It seemed like a horrible idea.
Yep.
Yeah, letting a horn dog loose in any situation does not seem like a great idea. Let's just be honest.
Well, there you go. Look, Ian agrees with the choice of the legendary and noble Tim, and we will also see his story continue into future episodes. And so yeah, until April 3rd. Oh,
I was just saying, listen now. You know I'm scouting this man Tim. He about to be real helpful on my quest, you know what I'm saying? That man can carry a lot of bags. God. You know what I'm saying? He kind of good at that. I might have to hire this man.
With what money?
Is that why you started tipping him? To be like, I start buying his loyalty so he will carry my weird paraphernalia all the way to Vice.
That's the respect you gotta show to people who do good work in these service positions for you. You're bribing him. Accustomed to this. You gotta do it.
That's not showing him gratitude. That's greasing the wheel to get him to do something shady that you got yourself stuck into.
The 2 things are separate. He was not thinking about that when he gave him the money. He did a great job loading those bags. That's what the truth was. He picked them up like groceries. All our stuff. It's just, you know how heavy adventuring gear is.
It just sounds a little suspicious at the moment, but that's all. That's all. It doesn't sound completely above board.
Well,
It sounds
whether or
like
not-
I'm gonna get this man to
Right,
carry
right.
these bags for me, bruh. I'm gonna start taking stuff to Vice. I'm gonna send
I just
Tim
get him.
by himself and just be like, "Hey, I'm here from Epsilon. Here's your bags.
Oh my god.
I got a dip."
Listen, if I did that and this man got kidnapped, that would be the end of me.
Whether or not
Yeah, it would be,
Epsilon
but
is
then-
nefarious or not will be a topic for sessions to come as the storylines continue. But until April 3rd, bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
It was
Thanks for watching.
enjoyable.
It was great to be back.
Enjoyable, he says.
Come back next time.
And
We will-
he's so mad that we just so good at Calamity Sun.